Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
34, 35th, 35. Yatra, Yatra Atra. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhiraye Rashtra Prayasha Vadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Bhagavatam, first canto, 5th chapter, 35th shloka. Yatra atra kriyate karma Bhagavat paritoshanam Jnanam yattad adhinam hi Bhakti yoga samanavitam. Whatever work is done in this life for the satisfaction and mission of the Lord is called Bhakti Yoga, or the transcendent loving service to the Lord, and what is called knowledge becomes a concomitant factor.
Offered by Srila Prabhupada. The general and popular notion is that by discharging routine work in terms of direction of the scriptures, one becomes perfectly able to acquire transcendental knowledge or spiritual realization. Bhakti Yoga is considered by some to be another form of karma, but actually Bhakti Yoga is above both karma and jnana. Bhakti Yoga is independent of jnana and karma. On the other hand, jnana and karma are dependent on Bhakti Yoga. This Kriya Yoga or Karma Yoga, as recommended by Sri Narada to Vyasa, is specifically recommended because the principle is to satisfy the Lord. The Lord does not want his sons, the living being, to suffer the threefold miseries of life. He desires that all of them come to him and live with him. But going back to Godhead means that one must purify himself from the material infections. When work is performed, therefore, to satisfy the Lord, the performer becomes gradually purified from the material affection. This purification means attainment of spiritual knowledge. Therefore, knowledge is dependent on karma or work done on behalf of the Lord. Other knowledge, being devoid of bhakti yoga or satisfaction of the Lord, cannot lead one back to the kingdom of God, which means that it cannot even offer salvation. As already explained in connection with the stranger, as a karmam, api achyuta bhav varjitam. The conclusion is that a devotee engaged in an unalloyed service of the Lord, specifically his hearing and chanting of his transcendental glories, becomes simultaneously spiritually enlightened by the divine grace as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita.
Okay, when the work is performed, therefore to satisfy the Lord, the performer becomes gradually purified. Okay. So Prabhupada has here compared bhakti, karma, jnana. So we discussed in 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, there is a famous verse, Yoginam api sarvesham madgadantaratmana Shaddavan bhajato mam samayukta tamo mata. Last sloka of Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter, which says what? That actually ultimate thing is bhakti yoga. And there is a contamination of fruitive result, it's karma yoga. It's not bhakti yoga. Actually, we are all doing at present something karma yoga. Bhakti yoga is very pure. Bhakti yoga captures Krishna because it doesn't have any contamination. And when there is a contamination or jnana means trying to know something, but not for service of Krishna. You go to Yashoda and say, I tell you what the trees are made of. There are so many 8 varieties of leaves. What she will say? Is it connected to Krishna? No. Why you are wasting my time? Because she wants to do everything just for pleasure of Krishna. But we are not in that position. We want to know some things just for the sake of knowing or to show to people I know something. So in this way, therefore, pure bhakti yoga is different. If bhakti is there, jnana karma is there. But karma is there, bhakti may not be there. Jnana is there, bhakti may not be there. So what is superior? Bhakti. Vasaya bhagavati bhakti yoga payojita janiyati asudya vairagyam jnanam cha dahetukam. It says if bhakti has come, automatically vairagya and jnana has come. But if somebody may be having vairagya but may not be having bhakti, somebody may be having jnana but may not be having bhakti. So what is superior? Bhakti. It is post-graduation. You done post-graduation already. How are you? Long time. You are here, you are gone to Kerala. You started working now?
Insurance agent.
You have started, something you have started. Okay, so there is many shlokas explaining this. This point is clear. Bhakti is superior. Okay? If somebody got bhakti, he got all jnana anyway. How it is possible to get bhakti? Bhakti means to serve Krishna with full love. And also the acharyas, we have begun bhakti, but the force is there. The desire to serve Krishna with great force, intense desire to serve Krishna. Recently we went to the birthplace of Madhvacharya. I was saying, what is the unique place? Here, somebody lived with the intense desire to serve Krishna. Right? You understand? We have intense anger. We have intense. We only know intense all these things. But there is some intense desire to serve Krishna. Matlab, it is so intense. Prabhupada compares, in the heart of pure devotee is like a fire burning to serve Krishna. Okay? And our heart is like coal. We touch it, we also by association can burn our heart. Therefore, Prabhupada used to say, Prabhupada, we distributed 10,000 Gitas, double it, make it 10 times. Intense desire, is not satisfied, wants to serve Krishna more and more, wants more and more to glorify Krishna. That happens when you become a devotee. You feel great pleasure in glory. This is Bhagavatam. When Shukdev Goswami is approached by Suta Goswami, can you tell me about Krishna? He says, Varyam Eshate Krishna. Kya question hai, maja aa gaya. Kirto loka hitam rapaha. Atavit sambataha pumsa. Shrota vyadini yah paraha. He says, Varyam Eshate Krishna. This question is why? Because great force, great desire to serve Krishna. They feel thank the person you have asked about Krishna. There is an intense desire. So when there is an opportunity, they become very gladdened. Same thing, Suta Goswami. Okay? You're going somewhere, says, can you tell something what is Bhagavad Gita? Waste of time, we think, na? We always think like that. But the person, how is he feeling? He's feeling great pleasure. Devotee feels great pleasure. So here, Narada is feeling great pleasure in glorifying Krishna. He's a pure devotee of Krishna and his desire is intense. We also have small. The same example too. Like parrot can jump from one branch to another branch. Some birds can fly miles high in the sky. What is the difference? Capacity. We also want to glorify Krishna. But capacity is this one. The pure devotee, the glorification is so intense that it shakes people. And their dormant love for Krishna revives just in their association. Next shloka. Yes, Mataji. Next shloka we go. Your daughter has not come till now? Oh, on the way. Evening. Kurvani yatra karmani Bhagavad Chiksha Sayakra Bhagavad Chikshaya Krit Sakrit Bhagavad Chikshaya Sakrit Grananti Guna Namani Krishnasya Smaranti Cha. While performing duties according to the orders of Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one constantly remembers his names and qualities. Kamalesh, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Read.
An expert devotee can mold his life that while performing duties, either for this or the next life, he can constantly remember the Lord's name, fame, qualities, etc. The order of the Lord is distinctly there in the Bhagavad Gita. One should work only for the Lord in all spheres of life. In every sphere of life, the Lord should be situated as the proprietor. According to the Vedic rites, even in the worship of some demigods like Indra, Brahma, Saraswati, and Ganesha, the system is that in all circumstances, the representative of Vishnu must be there as Agneshwara, or the controlling power of such sacrifices. It is recommended that a particular demigod be worshipped for a particular purpose, but still the presence of Vishnu is compulsory in order to make the function proper. Apart from such Vedic duties, even in our ordinary dealings, for example, in our household affairs or in our business or profession, we must consider that the result of all activities must be given over to the Supreme Enjoyer, Lord Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord has declared himself to be Supreme Enjoyer of everything, the Supreme Proprietor of every planet, and the Supreme Friend of all beings. No one else but Lord Sri Krishna can claim to be the proprietor of everything within his creation. A pure devotee remembers this constantly, and in doing so, he repeats the transcendental name, fame, and qualities of the Lord, which means that he is constantly in touch with the Lord. The Lord is identical with his name, fame, etc. And therefore, to be associated with his name, fame, etc. constantly means actually to associate with the Lord. The major portion of our monetary income, not less than 50%, must be spent to carry out the order of Lord Krishna. Not only should we give the profit of our earning to this cause, but we must also arrange to preach this cult of devotion to others, because that is also one of the orders of the Lord. The Lord definitely says that no one is more dear to him than one who is always engaged in preaching work of the Lord's name and fame all over the world. The scientific discoveries of the material world can also be equally engaged in carrying out his order. He wants the message of Bhagavad Gita to be preached amongst his devotees. It may not be so done amongst those who have no credit of austerities, charity, education, etc. Therefore, the attempt must be on to convert unwilling men to become his devotees. Lord Chaitanya has taught a very simple method in this connection. He has taught the lesson for preaching the transcendental message through singing, dancing, and refreshment. As such, 50% of our income may be spent for this purpose. In this fallen age of quarrel and dissension, if only the leading and the wealthy persons of society agree to spend 50% of their income in the service of the Lord, as it is taught by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there is absolute certainty of converting this hell of pandemonium to the transcendental abode of the Lord. No one will disagree to partake in a function where good singing, dancing, and refreshment are administered. Everyone will attend such a function, and everyone is sure to feel individually the transcendental presence of the Lord. This alone will help the attendant associate with the Lord and thereby purify himself in spiritual realization. The only condition for successfully executing such spiritual activities is that they must be conducted under the guidance of a pure devotee who is completely free from all mundane desires, fruitive activities, and dry speculations about the nature of the Lord. No one has to discover the nature of the Lord. It is already spoken by the Lord himself in Bhagavad Gita, especially and in all the other Vedic literatures generally. We have simply to accept them in toto and abide by the orders of the Lord. That will guide us to the path of perfection. One can remain in his own position. No one has to change his position, especially in this age of variegated difficulties. The only condition is that one must give up the habit of high speculation aimed at becoming one with the Lord. And after giving up such lofty puffed vanities, one may very submissively receive the orders of the Lord in the Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam from the lips of a bona fide devotee whose qualification is mentioned above. That will make everything successful, without a doubt.
Hare Krishna, Kamlesh.
Yes, Swami.
Thank you for little your voice is coming daba today. Otherwise, your voice is very nice. We could hear, but not the quality we get from your this thing. You try again. You read any line. Is it that will make everything successful without a doubt?
Okay, and last line.
No,
and
no.
after giving up, Prabhuji,
There is still something daba. Your throat is okay today, no?
my voice is okay, Prabhuji.
Yes, I think. Where are you now? Tirupati?
No, Prabhuji, I am in Gulbarga, but a remote place.
Oh, you are in a remote place. You could all hear? Okay.
Oh, very well.
No. We could make out, but your voice is otherwise very rich. So here, what is the main point here? Here, give up your lofty ideas and here to Krishna. Okay? Let us see this. So long purport. So, whatever duties we are doing, along with the remember Krishna names and qualities. So, Prabhupada says, in the age of...
10% भी नहीं, 5%.
So now, anyway, so the main point here is, Prabhupada says that there is no need to change situation. छोड़ना नहीं, जोड़ना है. Wherever we are, we can connect it to Krishna. That will make one person very peaceful and happy. Prabhupada said, in the age of various kinds of difficulties, situation is very difficult. It is not easy. Okay? Demigod, Indra, Brahma, Saraswati, Ganesha. Okay? So even if we are doing worship to Vedic rites, we know there is Yagneshwara, and the Shaligram will always be there. Correct? In any puja? That's why all these temples in this area, they're worshipping Devi, they have Shaligram. And who's worshipping is Madhvas. Madhvas karte hain, Vaishnavas. They first worship Shaligram and they give prasadam to the Devi. Huh? Including Dharmasthala. They're worshipping Shaligram actually. Because it was given by.
At the end of the lectures,
They do it the end
They say. But Pujari says, but the people do not know. People say, no, he is God, Devi is God, and Shiva is God. But actually, temples, it is not like that. Yeah, at least in this belt. Except, I think, Kudroli. The rest is all according to Vidhi. And Devata Vidhi is you have to bring Shaligram, you have to worship Shaligram, and give to Devata the Prasada, isn't it? That's how they are worshipping in all the temples, no? What to say? Brahmins are worshipping all Vaishnavas only, huh? All this Madhvas are worshipping, all the Mangala Devi and all Brahmanas worshipping. They are worshipping, giving prasadam to the Devi. Here, the worship Katil temple or whatever temple, Brahmins are worshipping, and Brahmin means they worship Shaligram. Except there are no rules. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord declares supreme in joy, supreme, no one else Krishna can claim.
becoming more popular everywhere. They worship everything, whatever is there.
But main are, I think, in India, Devi, Shiva, Ganesha. Mainly they are worshipped. Krishna sometimes. Delhi Krishna ke mandir hai kam na.
What I see, that whenever there is a puja in all the houses in our side, they say Om Vasudevaya Namo Namaha, and that comes in between the Karma Kanda, this thing. It comes. But first they worship Ganesha, after Ganesha, and they worship Bhaskar, Surya, and in between some people worship the Grahas also. Navgraha. After that they come, then there is a Sankalpa for whatever you are doing. Then the puja starts. But beginning they do like this. But in between, whenever we are doing puja for Ganesha, in between Om Vasudevaya Namo Namaha, it also comes in between. So,
focus is on the Devata, not on Krishna.
Yeah. Whether it should have been other way around.
Yeah. Anyway. The Prabhupada is saying if you can organize, no one will disagree to partake in a function where good singing, dancing and refreshments are administered. So very easy. Kevala Ananda Kanda. Our process is Prabhu ji, price पता करना है इसका क्या बात है कब लिस्ट दे दिया श्रीधर ने
कर रहा हूँ मेरे को दिखाने के लिए आया
इधर लगाना जनरली इधर लगाया जाता है
अंदर के पास पहले पेज खोल
तो इधर होता है जनरली जनरली मंदिरों में अंदर भी लगा सकते हैं
किनारे पर बैठो ना अंदर खोल के देखते हैं
कहीं पे भी लगा सकते हैं जहाँ मर्जी प्रैक्टिकल आप ट्राई करो कुछ इधर करके ट्राई करो जहाँ मर्जी
इसे टैच पे लगा के रखा अंदर पढ़ने टाइम दिखा
खोल के भी देखता हूं
पहले पढ़ते उठते तो इसे टैच पे लगा के रखा है
जैसा मर्जी प्रैक्टिकली ट्राई करो कुछ टाइम ओम नमो भगवते तुभ्यं वासुदेवाय धीमहि प्रद्युम्नाय अनिरुद्धाय नमः संकर्षणाय च Let us all chant the glories of Vasudeva along with many expansion, Pradyumna, Anuruddha and Sankarshana.
According to Pancharatra, Narayana is the preeminent cause of the expansion of Godhead. There are Vishnu, Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. Vasudeva and Sankarshana are on the left and right, Pradyumna along the right and Sankarshana, and Aniruddha is one of the left of Vasudeva. and thus the four deities are situated. There are no four waves the camp of Lord Sri Krishna. This is the Vedic kind of mantra beginning with the Omkara, Pranama, and thus the mantra is established by the transcendental chanting process, namely Om Namah Devahi, etc. The purport is any transactions either in the field of ritual work or in empiric philosophy, which is not ultimately aimed at transcendental realization of the Supreme Lord, is considered to be useless. Narada ji has therefore explained the nature of Anuga devotional service by his personal experience in the development of intimacy between the Lord and the living entity by a gradual process of progressive devotional activities. Such a progress marks a transient devotion for the Lord culminates in the attainment of the loving service of Lord, which is called prema in different transcendental very tendency called rasa tastes. Such devotional service is also executed in mixed form, namely mixed with fruity work on empiric philosophical speculations. Now the question was raised by the great rishis headed by Saunaka regarding the confidential part of Suta's achievement through the spiritual master is explained herein by the chanting of his hand consisting of the 33 letters. And this mantra is addressed to the four deities or the Lord with his plenary expansion. The central figure is Lord Sri Krishna because the plenary portion are his aids beacon. The most confident part of the instruction is that one should always chant and remember the glories of Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Along with his different plenary portion, expanded the Vasudeva Sankarsana, Pradyumna and Aniruddha. These expansions are the recommended degrees for all other efforts, namely the Vishnu Tattva or Shakti Tattvas.
Any expansion. So anyway, this is the four expansions. These are kind of mantras which are there in other ages actually. One place for opposite, this is Dwapar mantra. Like that. We have Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Satyuga mantra, Kalyuga mantra, Hare Krishna mantra. Different mantras and different. The mantras start with Om. See, Om Namo Bhagavate Tupyam Vasudevaya Dhimai Pradyumna Niruddhaya Nama Sankarshana. In this, the four names of Krishna, the Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna. So that way it has been said. Omkara, any prayer begins, any transaction or philosophy do not lie aimed at the transcendental service control, useless. Anything philosophy is not aimed at Krishna is useless. So after explaining the whole philosophy, he is now offering this prayer. So transcendental devotion develops, it should come finally to prema. Okay? And it is also offered in mixed form, which is Mishrit Bhakti, Shuddha Bhakti, Mishrit Bhakti. Okay, Suta's spiritual masters explained with chanting of the 33 syllables. This mantra is addressed to the four deities. The central figure is the Lord Shri Krishna. The most confidential instruction is that one should always chant and remember the glories of Lord Shri Krishna. Especially the original deities are all truth, namely Vishnu Tattva and Shakti. Okay. Meditation basically is meditating on the four expansions of Narayana, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Vasudeva. There are two sets actually in the spiritual world. Thus, he is actual seer who worships in the form of transcendental sound representation, Supreme Personality of God, Vishnu, who has no material form. Aishwarya, you want to read?
Our present senses are all made of material elements and therefore they are imperfect in realizing the transcendental form of Lord Vishnu. He is therefore worshipped by sound representation via the transcendental method of chanting. Anything which is beyond the scope of experience by our imperfect sense can be realized fully by the sound representation. A person transmitting sound from a distant place can be factually experienced If this is materially possible, why not spiritually? This experience is not vague impersonal experience. It is actually an experience of transcendental personality of Godhead who possess the pure form of eternity, bliss and knowledge. In the Ambarakosha Sanskrit dictionary, the word Murti carries import in twofold meaning, namely form and difficulty. Therefore, Amritika is explained by Acharya Sri Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura as meaning without difficulty. The transcendental form of eternal bliss and knowledge can be expressed by the original spiritual senses, which can be revived by chanting of holy mantras or transcendental sound representation. Such sound should be received from the transparent agency of bona fide spiritual master, and the chanting may be practiced by the direction of spiritual master that will gradually lead us nearer to the Lord. This method of worship is recommended in the Pancharatrika system, which is both recognized and authorized. The Pancharatrika system has the most authorized codes of transcendental devotional service. Without the help of such codes, one cannot approach the Lord. Certainly not by dry philosophical speculation. The Pancharatrika system is both practical and suitable for this age of quarrel. The Pancharatra is more important than Vedanta for this modern age.
Okay, so transcendental sound, they're talking about transcendental sound. Okay, so we cannot realize the transcendental form of the Lord by our gross senses, by transcendental method of chanting. Anything which we cannot say, see by present, we have to know by sound. Correct? We don't know anything about what is happening, who is chanting below. How do we know? Either the sound or we have to ask somebody. And again, we hear the sound. A person transmitting sound from a far distance can actually experience. This is materially possible. Okay? And that person is making sound Hare Krishna. And we can experience it now. The experience is not a vague impersonal experience, it is actually an experience of the transcendental personality God who possesses the form of eternity. It's not a person vague. When you experience a Lord in a far distance place, it's a real experience. Amara Oksha dictionary, Murti contains the important twofold meaning, the form and difficulty. Therefore, Amurti comes explain of Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur. Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur is one of the scholar devotees in our country, big scholar of Sanskrit. Even Goswami Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, they go into technicality. Transcendental form of eternal bliss and knowledge can be experienced by auditional spiritual senses, which can be derived by chanting of the mantra. What is the famous shloka? Atashi Krishna Namadi, Na Bhaved Grahim Indriyai, Sevon Mukhe Jivado, Swayame Smurtiyana. When you do the service attitude, what is? Such sound should be received from a transparent agency of the bona fide spiritual master, and the chanting will be practiced. It will be practiced by the direction of the spiritual master. Having gathered will get nearer to the Lord, matter what should recommend the Pancharatrika system. That system is more of the rest of the master. Without more practical for the range of life. That's more important than Vedanta for the non. Pancharatra is Narada Pancharatra. Narada is given Narada Bhakti Sutra, Narada Pancharatra. And it gives us practical way of engaging in the devotional service. So just philosophical speculation, there are some people, we can say three kind. One Gyani, they just do philosophical speculation. I'm not that, I'm not that. Better than the other people who are doing practical devotion service. They go to the temple, they see the deities, they serve the deities. So Pancharatra becomes more important than the ordinary just sitting and speculating. He's doing something practical. You think God is there or not there. Compared to him as a person who enters the temple and offers obeisances to the Lord. He's one step higher. That is what is problem. Yes, Kamlesh. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
सुनाई दिया?
श्लोक
नहीं, your voice is muted. हाँ.
श्लोक
नहीं, अभी श्लोक पढ़ना है. ये उसके लिए नहीं. इमं स्वनिगमं ब्रह्मम्
इमं स्वनिगमं ब्रह्मम्
इमं स्वनिगमं ब्रह्मन्
इमं स्वनिगमं ब्रह्मम्
अवेद्यमद् अनुष्ठितम्
अवेद्यमदनुष्ठितम्
अदानमे ज्ञानमैश्वर्यम्
अदानमे ज्ञानमैश्वर्यम्
स्वस्मिन् भावं च केशवः
स्वस्मिन् भावं च केशवम्.
O Brahmana, that's why the Supreme Lord Krishna endured first with the transcendental knowledge of the Lord as inculcated in the confidential parts of the Vedas. Then the spiritual opulences, then with the intimate loving service.
Offered by Srila Prabhupada. Communion with the Lord of transmission of the transcendental sound is non-different from the whole spirit Lord Krishna. It is completely perfect method for approaching the Lord. By such pure contact with the Lord, without offense of material conceptions, numbering 10, the devotee can rise above the material plane to understand the inner meaning of the Vedic literature, including the Lord's existence in the transcendental range. The Lord reveals his identity gradually to one who has unflinching faith both in the spiritual master and in the Lord. After this, the devotee is endowed with mystic opulences, which are 8 in number, and above all, the devotee is accepted in the confidential entourage of the Lord and is entrusted with the specific service of the Lord through the agency of the spiritual master. A pure devotee is more interested in serving the Lord than in showing an exhibition of the mystic power dormant in him. Sri Narada has explained all these from his personal experience, and one can obtain all the facilities which Sri Narada obtained by perfecting the chanting process of the sound representation of the Lord. There is no bar for chanting this transcendental sound by anyone, provided it is received through Narada's representative, coming down by the chain of disciplic succession or the parampara system.
So there is no bar for chanting. So now by sound, by chanting process we can achieve what Narada achieved. What is first transcendental knowledge of the Lord? Can you understand the transcendental knowledge? Okay, this knowledge is different from normal spiritual knowledge. It is realized by devotion service. Krishna reveals himself gradually on the based on our devotion service, and that is transcendental knowledge. Okay? It is not academic. Knowledge cannot be captured. It is given. Yasya Devat Parabhakti, Tasya Devat Pragaro, Tasya Karta Prakashante Mahatma. Krishna reveals. When you have faith in the Acharya and faith in Krishna, and you practice devotion with Krishna, reveals. Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Gata. Krishna, transcendental knowledge is revelation. It is revealed in the heart. That's sincere. That is the first part. Right? First he got transcendental knowledge. Then is spiritual opulences, then with the intimate loving devotion. In all the spiritual opulences develop. And then most important, intimate loving service to Krishna.
These are the 10 offenses.
10 offenses, yeah, Nama.
This is what we see there.
Every day 10 offenses every day. Similar to transcendental knowledge.
And then 8, there is some 8 also.
Ashtasiddhi.
Mystic powers.
Ashtasiddhi. There is the Anima Lagima, Vashita. Prakakanya. You know all the siddhis. Anyway, no need to know. No Baba chanting a transcendental sound by anyone provided it is received through Narada's representative coming down to the chain or discrete succession of the parampara system. Ashta is the Ashtasiddhis. Mystic power dormant in us. Just like this interesting, but don't get too much. It's like a child has the capacity to walk. The capacity to what is lying dormant in it can be revived. Similarly, Ashtasiddhis are also lying dormant. Can be revived. It's a capacity. But Acharyas don't focus on that. They focus on reviving God. See, these are the powers in the mind, as far as I can. Just like there is a power in the body to walk. Because the power is there in the body to walk, therefore you can make it walk. Correct? The mind also has the power to hypnotize someone. Vashita, to bring this, Vashita. So they talk about Vashita. Lady was coming here, her husband has gone and accompanied everybody that they have done Vashita. Therefore she goes to Vashita was वशीकरण करना so people talk about here for वशीकरण करना Avalesh,
Your voice is not clear, Prabhuji. It is mixed with
Andhra they do more of that vashikaran. Your voice is
I am not able to hear your voice distinctly. That's what I was saying. Hare Krishna. Am I audible, Prabhuji?
I will come to now. But you can hear us clearly, no?
Now I can hear you. Now I can hear you clearly.
Our voice is clear. Okay.
Yeah, now it's clear.
Narada obtained perfect chanting process, the sound representation of the Lord. So now actually we have been given the holy name to serve. Now you serve the holy name, so slowly then you will get the other forms of the Lord. Now the holy name, one form of the Lord has been given. You serve it nicely. Then you will get the Rupa, then the Leela. There's a Nama Smarana, Leela Smarana. There is difference. Leela Smarana is highest. Absorbed in the Leela of the Lord. So the beginning is Nama Smarana. So we have been given the sound representation of the Lord. There is no bar of chanting. And we get a Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti Tatra Pita Niyamita Smaranena Kala. No bar. Anybody can chant this process. But it is good if it is comes through the bona fide parampara. Okay. Prabha Mataji is about to come in. Hare Krishna Prabha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Your voice is so clear. Yeah. Okay, we have Mataji, we are on the 40th shloka now.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prashutavam viboho
Samprada prashtu
samapyate yena vidam vibhutsitam
samapyate ena vidam
prakyahi dukkhay muhuardin arditatmanam
prakyayate dukkhair mukar
klesha nirvarnamu ushante nanyata.
anam santi.
Please therefore describe the Almighty God's activity which you have learned by your vast knowledge of the Vedas, for that will satisfy the hankering of the great learned men, at the same time mitigate the miseries of the masses of the common people who are always suffering from the mental pang. Indeed, there is no other way to get out of such miseries. Please therefore describe the Almighty Lord's activity which you have learned by your vast knowledge of the Vedas. Or that will satisfy the hankering of the great learner, at the same time mitigate the miseries of the masses of the common people who are always suffering of mental pain. And there is no way to get out of such miseries. Yes, Prabha Mata, you like to read?
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Yes, ma'am.
Sri Narada Muni from practical experience definitely asserts that the prime solution of all problems of material work is to broadcast very widely the transcendental glories of the Supreme Lord. There are 4 classes of good men and there are 4 classes of bad men also. The 4 classes of good men acknowledge the authority of the Almighty God, and therefore such good men, number 1, when they are in difficulty, number 2, when they are in need of money, third one, when they are advanced in knowledge, and the fourth one, when they are inquisitive to know more and more about God. Intuitively take shelter of the Lord. As such, Naradaji advises Vyasadeva to broadcast the transcendental knowledge of God in terms of the vast Vedic knowledge which he had already attained. As far as the bad men are concerned, they are also four in number. 1. Those who are simply addicted to the mode of progressive, fruitive work and thus are subjected to the accompanying miseries. Number 2. Those who are simply addicted to vicious work of sense satisfaction and so suffer the consequences. Number 3. Those who are materially very much advanced in knowledge but who suffer because they do not have the same sense to not acknowledge the authority of the Almighty Lord. And fourth, the class of men who are known as atheists and who therefore purposely hate the very name of God, although they are always in difficulty. Sri Narada ji advised Vedavyasa to describe the glories of the Lord just to do good to all 8 classes of men, both good and bad. Srimad Bhagavatam is therefore not meant for any particular class of men or sect. It is for the sincere soul who actually want his own welfare and peace of mind. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purport of the first canto, 5th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Narada's Instruction on Srimad Bhagavatam of Vedavyasa. Hare Krishna.
Okay, it is meant for the sincere soul who actually wants his own welfare and peace of mind. So nice. Bhagavatam is not meant for, for our own benefit it is. Any class of such. So there are 4 kind of people who surrender. I think we all know the shloka. Chaturveda bhajante mam janana sukrito arjuna arto artharth jigyasyu jnanicha bharatashava. 4 kind of people, pious people. They are pious. So when they are in difficulty, they remember God. And there are 4 kind of impious people who never surrender God. Namam dushkritano muda prapadyante naradamaha maya aprita jnana asurim ashita. Prabhupada has given summary of these, all the 8 qualities. Hey. So all this kind of people, does not matter whatever they are, if they come in association with the pure devotee, they become devotee. Okay? The 4 kind of pious people, they're also not pure devotee. They want something. Because you want something, you're not a pure devotee, you are a sakama bhakta. But in contact with the Lord, in contact with the pure devotee, they also become pure. Similarly, the non-devotees also, when they come in contact with the pure devotee, they can become pure devotees. So, association of devotees is always auspicious in any condition. Yes, Mataji, any questions on this shloka?
No, Prabhuji.
Tika is asking whether Vyasa to broadcast very widely the transcendental glories of the Lord. That is the desire of a pure devotee. Widely, he wants to. That's a Guru prayer also we say he wants to bring the glories of the Lord to every nook and corner of the world. Correct? Widely, he wants to distribute. 4 castes is a good man, 4 castes is a bad man. Any one of them, as he contact with the pure devotee, he can become life of devotee. Okay? So very powerful. Devotee is very powerful. Prabhupada in Bhagavad Gita also says that all the 8 classes of people in the 7th chapter it is described. So Prabhupada said, doesn't matter any class, as they come in contact, they change. We were trying to see the examples of the 4 pious people who came to show Krishna. Can you give an example of that? Arto Artayasa Jigyasu Gyani, who came in difficulty to Krishna in Bhagavatam, any example? Was in great difficulty, he was about to die. Crocodile was holding his leg.
Yeah, Gajendra.
Okay, who came to the Lord for some wealth, some position? Dhruva Maharaj. Who came to the Lord questioning? Inquisitor. In knowledge. 4 Sanat Kumaras. They came in knowledge.
Yes.
So we can take these examples and understand. And the Shkritana Muda, the 4 kind of sinful people. Anyone you can think, 4 sinful people. In Bhagavatam, finally the association of devotee, they become purified. Muda, Gada, he was an idiot. Narada, Maya Prita Jnana Asura. Tell examples in Bhagavatam of these 4. Can you locate these 4? Yes, Mataji. Narada, so we can say that hunter, which Narada delivered. Muda?
Is it?
Yes, Kamalesh. Can you think of somebody? Here's the
As
shloka.
Valmiki Maharshi.
Also, you can put in that category. Yes, Narada was correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Muda, any Muda you know who came in shelter and became a devotee?
Yeah,
Huh?
Jagai Madai.
Huh?
Jagai and Madai.
What is that?
Jagai and Madai. Jagai and Madai. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu delivered them.
No. We're not able to hear you. Jagai Madai. You're saying Jagai Madai?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes,
Jagai
Prabhuji.
Madai. Naradama. They're in Naradama category. You're not getting any other category? Maya, Aprita, Jnana, all knowledge is stolen by illusion. That is Sarvama Bhattacharya. I go to Chaitanya Charitamrita. All knowledge is stolen by illusion. Mayavadi. And he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, surrendered. Okay, then. Asuram Bhama Ashrita. Muda. We got two more. Keep thinking as we read the next chapter. Continue.
Yeah.
We go to the next chapter now. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Think and tell me or search and let me know. Always correct. Huh?
It's a foolish person, Prabhuji.
Huh?
What does Muda here mean, Prabhuji? Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I can hear Hare Krishna. Then after that?
What is Muda referred to here, Prabhuji? Muda means
Muda.
foolish.
Muda.
Yeah.
They properly explain now, Muda. Is busy in progressive fruitive activities, simply addicted to the mode of progressive fruitive work and thus subject to accompanying miseries. Muda means you tell him chanting, I have no time. That is Muda. He wants to become bigger, manager. Muda. What are you thinking about yourself?
Actually, yes, Prabhuji. I fall in that category.
No, you're not. That is Dushka, that is Dushtalo. You're not Dushta. You are in the first category. Chaturveda bhajante maam janana sukritan. Arto. You are Arto. You're not Muda, you are Arto. Suffering.
Yeah.
Suffering due to too much work. You are Arto, not Muda. Arto artha jigyasu jnani cha vartasho. Because because you are pious, in difficulty you are able to remember Krishna. Dushta person in difficulty he does not remember Krishna. You understand this one? Prabhamata, do you know this? See, we say dushta people when they are in difficulty, the pious people when they are in difficulty, they remember Krishna. Dushta does not remember Krishna. He will curse Krishna. What? I am such a nice
Yeah.
situation for
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji is able to locate.
Dhritarashtra can we categorize under Muda, Prabhuji? Hare Krishna.
Yeah, tell me.
Dhritarashtra can we categorize under Muda, Prabhuji? He never was chanting Krishna's name, but
Oh, Dhritarashtra?
yes, Prabhuji. Can we categorize him?
Muda? Which category you want to put him?
Muda. Can we categorize him under Muda? He never chanted Krishna's name during his lifetime, but even
Then?
in spite of Vidura and Akrura, continuously telling him he never chanted, he never took the shelter of Krishna, but at the end he has reached the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna.
You know how to use mobile. He can give it. He can manage. He can put the book. Youngsters are very comfortable mobiles. Yes. Take care. So keep analyzing. We have put.
Can we categorize Dhritarashtra under this category?
Basically, there are four kind of pious people and four kind of impious people. Four kind of pious who surrender. We are just looking the cases now who surrender. So we analyze, trying to analyze. We are not perfect. Number one was Chaturveda Artho. Artho we saw is Gajendra. He was in great difficulty. Remember Krishna. Artharthi Dhruva Maharaj. He wanted some money. Therefore he went and surrendered. Jigyasu, the four Sanat Kumaras who went to were very curious to take darshan of the Lord. Okay, na? Gyani, who is Gyani, who surrendered. And then four kind of impious people. So Naradama, we took the example of Balmiki and Mrigari and Jagai and Madai. Maya Aprita Jnana. To Sarma Bhattacharya, Prakashananda. Sarma Bhattacharya, Prakashananda Saraswati. Then he's taking an example of Dhritarashtra as Muda. He had no time to think about Krishna. He was busy planning his sons to become the king. Take care. Okay. We continue. Suta said, Brahmana thus hearing all about Suta Vacha
Sutavacha
Bhagavan
Evanissamya Bhagavan
Janma Karma Cha
Devarshina
Bhuya Prapachatam Brahman
Bhuya Prapachatam
Vyasa
Brahman
Satyavati Sutaha.
Vyasa
Suta
Satyavati
said, Brahmana
Sutaha.
thus hearing all about Sri Narada's birth and activities, Vyasa, the incarnation of God and son of Satyavati, inquired as follows.
Vyasdeva was further inquisitive to know about the perfection of Naradaji, and therefore he wanted to know about him more and more. In this chapter, Naradaji will describe how he was able to have a brief audience with the Lord while he was absorbed in the transcendental thought of separation from the Lord, and when it was very painful for him.
Yes, so this is a description of Narada's perfection. Because he told in brief, he wants to know in more detail because success story is very important. Because if we hear success stories, we get very inspired. So Narada is an example of a success story. Prabhupada says he's a devotee comparable only to himself. You heard about anybody like Narada? He's comparable only to himself. Unique devotee. So we want to know his success story, how he became such a great devotee. Vyasa Vacha
Vyasavacha
Prashite Bhukshubhi Vipravashite
Vikshubhir Vipravashite
Vijnana Deshrabhi Tava
Vidyana Veshadishtava
Vartamano Vayasi Adye
Vartamano Vayasi Ade
Bhavan.
Tata Kim
Sri
Abhut
Vyasa said,
Bhava.
what did you, Narada, do after the departure of the great sages who had instructed you in scientific transcendent knowledge before the beginning of your present birth? He asked, what did you do after the sages went? Hare Krishna, welcome. After the scientific transcendent before the beginning of your present birth. Huh? Who wants to read? Yeah.
And therefore it was natural to get anxious to hear what Narada did after initiation from the spiritual master. He wanted to follow the Narada footsteps in order to attain to the same perfect stage of life. This desire to inquire from the spiritual master is an essential fact to the progressive path. This process is technically known as Sadharma Praksha.
Although Guru Ashraya, there are 64 principles in surrender to Krishna. And first one is Adho Guru Ashraya, approach the spiritual master. And then second one is Sadharma Prich, ask questions. And then offer service like that. What did Narada do after the departure of the great sage instructor? So he wants to know success story. He wants to know Narada's foot. He wants to follow Narada's footsteps to attain the same perfect stage of life. He wants to attain same privilege that Narada is having. Okay? Narada has pleased Krishna. You want to ask him, what did you do? For Bhagavatam, the example of Brahma, example of Narada, example of Bhishma, example of Kunti. What is the advantage? Example of Dhruva. So what is the advantage? When you hear all this, you also develop desire to attain perfection. Swayambhuva Kaya Vritya
Swayambhuva Kaya Vritya
Arthatam Te Param Vayaha
Vartatam Te Param
Atam
Vaha
Chedam Udasakshihi
Katam Chedam
Kale
Udasrakshe
Prapte Kalevaram.
Kale Prapte Kalevaram.
O son of Brahma, how did you pass your life after initiation, and what did you and how did you attain this body, having quit your one in due course?
Offered by Srila Prabhupada. Sri Narada Muni, in his previous life, was just an ordinary maid servant's son. So how he became so perfectly transformed into the spiritual body of eternal life, bliss and knowledge is certainly important. Sri Vyasdeva desired him to disclose the facts of for everyone's satisfaction.
Disclose the facts for everyone's
Satisfaction.
very important. Okay. Eternity, bliss, and knowledge. Vyasa desired and disclosed the facts for everyone's satisfaction. How was it? Just from a maidservant son, he became such a unique devotee. Prakalpa Vishayametam
Prakalpa-vishayam etam
Sattama
Sriti Munisattam
Nahi Esha Vyavadhat Kala
Nahi esha vivadat kala
Esha Sarva Nirakriti.
Esha sarva nirakriti.
Oh, great sage, time annihilates everything in due course. So, how is it that the subject matter which happened in the prior to this day of Brahma is still fresh in a memory, undisturbed by time?
As spirit is not annihilated even after the annihilation of the material body, so also spiritual consciousness is not annihilated. Sri Narada developed this spiritual consciousness even when he had this material body in the previous kalpa. Consciousness of the material body means spiritual consciousness expressed through the medium of a material body. This consciousness is inferior, destructible, and perverted. But superconsciousness of the supramind is the spirit in the spiritual plane is as good as a spirit soul and is never annihilated.
So, spirit is not annihilated, spiritual consciousness is not. Previous kalpa means billions of years old story, which is there. One kalpa is how much? 1 day of Brahma. Each day of Brahma is called one kalpa. And 1 day of Brahma is 8.64 billion years old. So,
That is one kalpa.
kalpa is a day.
Kalpa.
And the 30 days in a month of. There are so many kind of pralayas. Many, bigger, bigger. The smallest pralaya is sometimes happens in Manvantara. Bigger pralaya is that when Brahma sleeps. And still biggest pralaya is when Brahma dies. Correct? So here, that will come to as a narration. I think this one is prior to this day of Brahma. See, the narration is in the translation, this day, previous day. So this is Kalpa referring to, basically Kalpa means moment. This previous Kalpa is previous day of Brahma. So that means night is 4.32 billion years. So at least 4.32 billion years ago, what had happened is speaking. How is it possible you remember that? Correct? कोई बोले मैं 4 करोड़ साल पहले ऐसा याद है मेरे को इससे हाउ कल को तो याद नहीं आपको आपको कितना कैसे याद होगा so prophecy because it is spiritual spiritual things are not forgotten and the Bhagavad Gita says स्वल्प अपि धर्म से त्रायते महतो भया little spiritual advancement protected from the greatest नेहा विक्रमनाशो अस्ति प्रत्यवायु न विद्यते नेहा बिर्कमनाशो अस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पमपि अस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात्. Even little spiritual, in this effort there is no diminution, there is no loss. Even after millions of years, spiritual advancement will be there. Now we are discussing Bhagavatam, we are still not, but if you come to the spiritual plane of a discussion, come to the spiritual plane, then for many births you'll remember this. Oh, we were relishing Bhagavatam together, correct? That memory will be there. Memory, because that is spiritual memory, that is spiritual advance. So the spiritual advancement is permanent, because body will go, mind will also keep transforming, but spiritual revival of the soul has permanent effect. Therefore, also when somebody dies with some spiritual advancement in the next life, that advancement stays with them. Welcome, Hare Krishna. Come. You do. Okay. Narada Vacha.
Narada Vacha.
This is okay. This is okay. How the memory is there is clear because it is spiritual. And the memory and the soul will not go away. Body, it will go. Mind, so many new things will come. But what reaches the soul, and therefore spiritual advancement is eternal. Okay, na? Therefore, Prabhupada says any material thing, till you have it, you are hankering, I want this. When you get it, there is a danger of going and one day it goes. So at all the stages, there is some anxiety, there is some discomfort. But spiritual advancement, you have it and enjoy. Nobody can take it away. Once you have it, nobody can take you away. Correct? You have material asset, then people become envy and they take it away. But spiritual advancement, just have it and enjoy. You can be peaceful, very happy with it. It's eternal asset. Shri Narada Vacha
Narada
Vikshubhi Vipravashite
Rishubhirvipravashite
Vijnanadeshtubhi Mama
Vijnanande Prishtabhi
Vartamano Vayasi Adye
Vartamano Vayasyadye
Akarsham
Tata Yedadakshirasham
Avetat Akarasham. Shri Narada said the great sages who had imparted scientific knowledge of transcendence to me departed for other places as I had to pass my life in this way.
In his previous life, when Narada ji was impregnated with spiritual knowledge by the grace of the great sages, there was a tangible change in his life. Although he was only a boy of 5 years, that is an important symptom visible after initiation by the bona fide spiritual master. Actual association of devotees brings about a quick change in life or spiritual realization. How it so acted upon the previous life of Sri Narada Muni is described by and by in this chapter.
Okay, so there is an effect. Association, there is an effect. But then the person should be spiritually potent. If Guru is bogus, disciple is bogus, it is no use. If Guru is bona fide, disciple is bogus, that is also no use. If the disciple is genuine but Guru is bogus, that is also no use. You can all permutation, combination. Both have to be perfect. Then it will work. Just like an example proper says, husband and wife, then child will be there. Both have to be perfect. Otherwise there will be no child. Correct? The same way for spiritual birth to occur, that's called Diksha. There was one very nice quotation I was reading. 2 days are important in our life. One day the day we are born, and the day we come to know why. Why I'm born. 2 days are important. I was just seeing some presentations made by Pandav Sena in Europe. They do also a lot of good preaching. So day we come to know why we are born, that's very important. That is what it said. Okay? I had to pass my life in this way. The tangible change should occur. So when I chant Hare Krishna, when I'm in association with the Bhagavatam, there should be tangible change. And then the person becomes totally different from other people. That's why the people say it's called the brainwash. We don't brainwash, but the process is very powerful. There is a tangible change. Okay? You understand? Tangible change should occur. Actual association of devotees bring about a quick change in the life of spiritual realization. Okay? I had passed my life. It's a great sage imparted scientific transcendental knowledge to me, departed. He was only 5-year-old, but total life transformed. That means he has received. He still is playful means he has still not received. Correct? Suppose somebody has received spiritual knowledge, there are symptoms of knowing them. Take an example. Somebody comes to you, he says, from where are you? I'm from actually a billionaire from America. Okay, that is fine. Now, where do you living nowadays? Now, I'm living in a small hut in Bangalore. And you see he's wearing torn clothes and he has come in a car, not even come walking. You'll doubt now whether he's a rich man, correct? So you say, I'm a disciple of this and this, all of us like to say, and I am chanting Hare Krishna so many years. That's all okay. But the spiritual benefit should be, isn't it? Spiritual benefit should be visible. So quick change, total transformation should occur in the life of a devotee. That means he has actually, we were discussing this that day, the 6 changes that occur when spiritual life starts. When we come under shelter of a pure devotee, Nectar Devotion says 6 changes occur. Total transformation, revolution occurs in the life. Therefore, Bhagavatam is also meant for that. He says this book, Bhagavatam, has come in Kali Yuga to bring a total revolution in the life of the people. Therefore, Prabhupada had that faith in it. And therefore, Prabhupada carried Bhagavatam to create, as he said, he didn't create, he said Bhagavatam to create the revolution. Therefore, he is giving Bhagavatam to people, read. He said, I only have to carry the Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam will do the work. So this brings about a revolution in the life of the people, quick change in the life of the or spiritual realization. Yes, Prabha Mata, you like to say something? Kamlesh? Prabha
No,
Mata,
Prabhuji.
nice.
No, Prabhuji.
Quick change is occurring. Yes. एक एकात्मजा में जननी
एकात्मजा मे जननी
मूढ़ा च किंकरी
योषिन्मूढा च
मयि
किङ्करी
आत्मजे नान्य गतौ
मय्यात्मजेनान्यगतो
स्नेहानुबंधनम.
चक्रे
I was only the son of
स्नेहानुबन्धनम्.
my mother, who was not only a simple woman but a maid servant as well. Since I was her only offspring, she had no other alternative of protection. She bound me with the tie of affection. So he was under the shelter care of his mother. Sa Sashvatantra na kalpasi
शाश्वतन्त्रा न कल्पासि
Shema mamechati
योगक्षेममचेति
Ishasya hi vashe loko
ईशस्य हि वशे लोको
Kadaru mayata.
योऽसदारुमय्यथा.
Wanted to look after my maintenance properly, but because she was not independent, she was not able to do anything for me. The world is under the full control of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, everyone is like a wooden doll in the hands of a puppet master. Aham cha, that's because she was not independent, she was not able to do anything. Only Krishna is independent. He cannot do anything. Previous verse, she bound me with the tie of affection. Every verse I have actually marked on 9. Aham cha tad brahma kulhe
अहं च ब्रह्मकुले
vam tad upekshaya
ऋषिवान्
Digdesha
तदुपेक्षितम्
kala vyaptu pano balaka
दिग्देशिकालव्यतुपनो
panchahayanaha.
बालका
When I was a mere child of
पञ्चहायनः.
5 years, I lived in a Brahmana school. I was dependent on my mother's affection and I had no experience of different lands. So he was doing some seva in that ashram. Mother was doing some seva. That's where the sages had come. So he had no experience anything. He was a small innocent child. Ekada nirgatam geha
एकदा निर्गतां गेहात्
nampati
यूनां निषितं
sarpo
पति
adashat padasprishtaha
सर्पोदशत्पदा
kala
स्पर्शात्
choditaha.
सुगन्धः कालति.
Once upon a time, my poor mother, while going out night to milk a cow, was bitten on the leg by a serpent influenced by the supreme time.
Offered by Srila Prabhupada. That is the way of bringing essential soul nearer to God. The poor boy was being looked after only by his affectionate mother, and yet the mother was taken from the world by the supreme will in order to put him completely at the mercy of the Lord.
Prabhupada, what he says? Dragging a sincere soul. He said the purport in a different mode. Dragging. Krishna dragged him to the lotus feet. Nothing else now. Sometimes Krishna does it. And Prabhupada said it's very painful when he does it. Correct? But devotee has no other shelter. Just brings him totally under his shelter. Correct? Narada mother was looking after him, but mother went away now nothing for him. Just fell at the lotus feet of Krishna. Krishna does it sometimes. Therefore it's called Hari. Therefore people are scared to go to Krishna. Sometimes. Hari means he takes away. Correct? In order to put him completely in the mercy of the Lord, but then what Krishna wants to do, made him a great devotee, unparalleled in the history, isn't it? Even though a little painful. But what is the result was? Result is great. You cannot blame Krishna. Result can be. The result made him a devotee unique in the history. In order to put him completely at the mercy of the Lord. Tada tadam ishasya
तदा तदं एषस्य
avipshataha
भक्तानां
anugraham
सद्भविष्यताम्
anushyamanaha
अनुग्रहम् अनिष्णुः
anugraham manyamanaha pratishtham dishamuttaram.
प्रतिष्ठं दिशमुत्तरम्.
I took to the spatial mercy of the Lord with always desire benediction for his devotees, and so thinking I started for north.
But confidently, devotees of the Lord see in the every step in benedictory direction of the Lord. What is considered to be an unworded of or difficult movement in the mundane sense is accepted as essentially mercy of the Lord. Mundane prosperity is a kind of material fever, and by the grace of the Lord, the temperature of his material fever is gradually diminished and spiritual health is obtained step by step. Mundane people misunderstanding.
Every step a benedictory direction, every moment mercy. Because Krishna is in total control of our life. He is in total control of each one's life. He can do that parallelly. So anything that happens, they take it as a mercy of Krishna. Then there is no fear.
Everything happens for the best.
Yeah, we say, Krishna, you do whatever you want, but this you don't do. We say, no, no. Do whatever you want, but this you don't do. When we pray, no, when we pray, Krishna, do whatever you want, at the heart we say, okay, you do whatever you want, but this you don't. Some things really don't change. Yes, Mataji, do we do or not? Hare Krishna, Prabha Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes,
Totally
Prabhuji.
surrender,
Yeah.
or some conditions are always there.
Some conditions are always there.
So Narada is totally surrendered to Krishna. Krishna, okay, fine. It's very painful. It's not easy. It's very painful. Prabhupada was once saying, by Krishna, I was not surrendered. My guru was coming in my dreams and I was saying, take sannyas. And I was, saying it's difficult. I was not doing. Then Prabhupada dragged me. He made my business collapse and all. The devotees started laughing. Prabhupada, don't laugh. When your money goes away, it's very painful. So it's not that we say, okay, Krishna, do whatever, but when anything happens in life, it is very painful. At the same time, Narada took it as a benedictory direction of the Lord. Okay, Krishna's blessing. And he proceeded. Devotees don't challenge the Lord's decision. They don't challenge. Correct? They accept. The Lord accepted. You got an eye? Anything happening in this world, so therefore they're very peaceful. Devotees are not agitated. Normal person we need to, this happened. Devotee is very peaceful. Okay, Krishna's will. Anna? That should be there. Peaceful. Spitanjana padam satra.
Vitam Tanaspada
Ragrama vrajakaran. Khet karavatavatischa.
Eta Karvata
Nani upavananischa.
Vananya.
After my departure, I passed through many flourishing metropolis towns, villages, animal farms, mines, agricultural land, valleys, flower garden, nursery garden, and natural forest.
Thakur Srila Prabhupada, men's activity in agriculture, mining, farming, they are all on the same scale even previous to the present creation, and the same activities will remain as they are. Even in the next creation, after my hundreds of my millions of years, one creation is started by the law of nature, and the history of the universe repeats itself. That very the mundane dragons will stand with you after excavation or vital necessities of life. After Sri Narada Muni, even though they make for a single movement into the economic development. Although he caused towns and villages, mines and industry, he continually went on the progress to spiritual emancipation. Srimad Bhagavatam is the repetition of history. It happened some hundreds of millions of years ago. As it is said herein, only the most important facts of history are picked up to the recorded in this transcendental literature.
Correct. So Bhagavatam dealing of history is different. It is not chronological order. ये हुआ, फिर ये हुआ, 1960 में ये हुआ, 1965 में ये हुआ. Bhagavatam is talking about philosophy, and whatever reference it needs, it tells. Now this reference is millions of years ago, previous kalpa, previous day of Brahma, before Brahma slept. Narada got full realization. Correct. So this is explained here. So the very important thing is that modern human society, all the energy is wasted for economic development. Right? India also, yesterday I was hearing some of the calculation. In 1900, it will become, already India has become the 6th richest country in the world. It will become after some years the 2nd richest country in the world, then the richest country in the world. Totally the focus is on economic development, collectively or individually. Now I'm living in a 1-flat house, then I live in 2-flat house, then I will have one more, my own bungalow, right? Then my son will become rich, then I will have. So all our calculations are very much economic development is part of it. Right? Isn't it true? But Narad Muni is a Paramahamsa. He has no interest in economic development. He has progresses spiritual emancipation. His focus is spiritual emancipation. That is why in Bhagavad Gita, in this one chapter, it says divine and demonic nature. It says, if you think in this way, so much money I have today, so much money I have tomorrow, that's demonic. Because then your focus is not correct. Focus should be spiritual development. At the same time, you have no problem with money. Just like Yudhishthira Maharaj, we were reading yesterday, Bhishma's prayers to Krishna. When Yudhishthira comes to meet Krishna, he comes with all opulence. He's a billionaire now. He's a samrat of the world. He says he as opulent as Kuvera. In this universe, the richest person is Kuvera, the treasurer of the Devatas. He became like Kuvera. He was so rich, he was looking like Kuvera. But Krishna was still with him. It's not that to have Krishna, you have to become bankrupt. In any condition, you should be devotee. That is what is needed. Okay? So our effort, focus should not be only economic development. My focus is spiritual development. That is my achievement in life. By end of the day, what is important? How much faith, devotion, love we develop from Krishna. These things are there, not there. This will give you total happiness. So my primary focus should be economic development or spiritual development. But what are we doing? Economic. That we give all anxiety. Anxiety is, Prabhu, what can I do? I am not able to attentively hear Harinama. I have no taste in reading Bhagavatam. Correct? That is my problem. But my problem is no. That is not the problem. Isn't it, Mataji? Our focus is wrong. Do not waste time a single moment for economic development. Narada Muni is a total Paramahamsa. Now we cannot imitate him. See, a person like Narada Muni at his level of spiritual development doesn't have to even think about money. He doesn't have to think because Krishna will feed him personally. Like we took some examples of Billu Mangala Thakur, Madhavendra Puri, Krishna was personally feeding. We are not in the position. Like they are called the Babajis. They just sit down and chant whole day. And Krishna personally arranges or directly feeds them. Yeah? That's there in Bhagavad Gita also. I give what they have and what they lack, I provide that. Yoga Kshemam Vahamiham. But in our situation, Prabhupada said both have to be there. Arjuna also had to fight the war. So we have to one side work for economic development, another side work for spiritual development. For which is primary? Spiritual. That we should not forget. The effort for economic development should not block spiritual progress. But society is upside down. What is our real, externally people cannot check out. Externally we should act normally. Otherwise society will say you're mad. But internally I should know my real thing is when I will become a pure devotee, when I will be able to hear Krishna's name with attention, when I will get, just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Gauranga bolite habe pulaka sharira. That is the Bhaktivinoda Thakur's prayer. When the day comes when I chant the name of Gauranga and our hairs and ecstasy rise in my hand, Hari Hari bolite babe nira, and I take name of Hari and tears will come in my hand. When that day will come. That is my meditation. Externally something I have to do to maintain. But that sincerity is needed. It's a progress. So Narada Muni passed through so many towns. I can take a job, some employment somewhere, some money I can make. But we cannot imitate Narada. We have to do that also. And we have to do spiritual advancement also. But only thing is that in that effort, we make that primary, this secondary. Just like when you buy a car, the joke is accessories you get as, if you want, you can have some luxuries. You want kind of special wheels for the car. You can add some things, So many shops are there. You get core car, but you want audio system, they'll give you. You can add. So similarly, people think spiritual life is luxury. If you have time, you can do. Main thing is economic development. Isn't society like that? And they measure the success of man because of economic development. Therefore, we refuse that. We revolt against this kind of a society. We revolt. Therefore, we are staying away from them. Correct? The rat race for economic development. Rats trying to be better and better economically and comparing each other and be jealous and envious. And they day and night read that only. Oh, who achieved money? Oh, what he did. They are reading. He is so successful. Ask them who are their idols. Some idiot who hits the ball, he becomes an idol. Maybe character, maybe 10th class man. He's an idol for them. He's a hero for them. Correct? Some film star, another 10th class category fellow, 100th class category fellow. Very low class, but he becomes a hero for them. Okay. So, but devotee, who is a hero? Narada. Now, if some of the devotee, somebody who is a hero? Narada. Isn't it? That's the difference. Because we are looking for spiritual success. Therefore, our idols are Narada. Our idols are Vyasa, Bhishma. These are our inspirations. Because that success we want. We want that success. And Vedavyasa wants that success. Therefore, is hearing from Narada. Please tell, what did you do? Today, we are not interested in asking Narada, what did you do? We are asking Ambani, what did you do? Today, Ambani comes to Mangalore, whole city will go. But how did you do it? You would make so much money. But some devotee come, no, we put advertisement, we put hoardings, or 5 people will come. Nobody is interested. Okay, progressive spiritual emancipation. So, in neglected economic development, to go for progressive spiritual emancipation. Yes, Venki. Hare Krishna, welcome. Chitradhatu vichitradhin.
Chitradhatu vichitradhi.
Bhagna bhujadhruma.
Bhagna bhujadhana.
Lashayan shiva jalan.
Jalasayan Shiva Jalan.
Nalini suradevitaha.
Nalini Surasevitaha.
I passed through hills and mountains full of reservoirs and various minerals like gold, silver, copper, and through tracts of land with reservoirs of water filled with beautiful lotus flowers fit for delicious heaven, decorated, bewildered bees and singing birds. So he saw all the hills, mountains, reservoirs of gold, silver, copper, okay, water, beautifully seeing all the beautiful nature. Okay. Previously, if you see, the cities are very beautiful. Concrete jungle is today's nonsense. People are not. People live in a. We say we are advancing. I don't know how. What do you see? Now today, if you have money, don't you want that nice garden, lake, and a house next to it? Don't people do that? If you have money, they buy a house and near this. People live like that only before. Somebody, the joke was, somebody was sitting in a village next to one pond, and he was peacefully sitting. So one rich man came to him. He also sat down. He said, "Why don't you work hard?" He said, "Then when you work hard, then you can make money." Okay, what will I do with money? Then you can buy a house in a riverside and then sit like way I'm sitting. So he said, "That's what I'm doing now." Why I have to go all the way around and come back? Okay, isn't it? The Vedic means simple living, high thinking. Today means simply living and simply living, no thinking. Now we as Vedic culture, Vedic time is simple living, high thinking. Today is simply living and no thinking. So he's seeing the beautiful. See, actually, people sitting. The place was very beautiful. That all this, also the nature also. When you are serving the Lord, nature also offers you gifts. Because see, it's like this. You can't see, but nature is under God's control. Kind of opulent Narada was exhibiting. Even cows he was giving decorated with gold. Today it looks like some story, which is not true. Okay? 9 lakh cows he was having. Prabhupada says real wealth means agriculture and cow. Everything else is Ugra Karma. Today morning I was reading. Everything else is Ugra Karma. Unnecessarily hard work. Because with these two you can live peacefully. Correct? Your food problem is solved when you have land and cow. Over. Live peacefully after that. You can save so much time for reading Bhagavatam. Otherwise, we are struggling, we are getting together reading, and every day, can you read 4 hours? Not possible. You leave for office at 8 o'clock, come at 9 o'clock, you don't have energy to even chant your rounds. Everybody, the situation. So many students, they are with us, that time they're chanting. The moment they go to God's job, they're crushed. They don't get time, so the difficulties are there. Fit for the decorated, bewildered bees and singing birds. Okay. You see, we know where we have this. I heard today the bees are bewildered because of this mobile signal. You heard that? Huh? They're getting confused. Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Thanks for coming. We'll meet on Friday. Hare Krishna. You're chanting 16 notes?
8 notes. Again.
Try to chant 16. Nalaveno Sharastamba
Nalaveno Sarastamba.
Shaki Chakagahvaram
Vishaki Chakagravam.
Eka Evati Yato Aham
Ekayevati Yatoham.
Daksham Vipinam Maha
Draksham Vipinam.
Ghoram Pratibhyakar Ghoram Pratibhayakaram Goram
Goram Pratibhayakaram Vyaloluka.
I then passed through alone many forests of rushes, bamboos, reeds, sharp grass, weeds, and caves, which are very difficult to go through alone. I visited deep, dark, and dangerous, fearful forests, which are the play yards of snakes, owls, and jackals.
Upward by Srila Prabhupada. It is the duty of a mendicant Parivrajakacharya to experience all varieties of God's creation by traveling along through all forests, hills, towns, villages, etc., to gain faith in God and strength of mind, as well as to enlighten the inhabitants with the message of God. A sannyasi is duty bound to take all these risks without fear, and the most typical sannyasi of the present age is Lord Chaitanya, who traveled in the same manner through the central Indian jungles, enlightening even the tigers, bears, snakes, deer, elephants, and many other jungle animals. In this age of Kali, sannyasa is forbidden for ordinary man. One who changes his dress to make propaganda is a different man from the original ideal sannyasi. One should, however, take the vow to stop social intercourse completely and devote life exclusively to the service of the Lord. The change of dress is only a formality. Lord Chaitanya did not accept the name of sannyasi, and in this age of Kali, the so-called sannyasi should not change their former name, following in the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya. In this age, devotional service of hearing and repeating the holy glories of the Lord is strongly recommended, and one who takes the vow of renunciation of family life need not imitate the Parivrajikacharya like Narada or Lord Chaitanya, but they sit down at some holy place and devote his whole time and energy to hear and repeatedly chant the holy scripture left by the great acharyas like six Goswamis of Vrindavan.
Okay, so it's very important, two important instructions. Prabhupada says what we should do, stop the social intercourse. We cannot do this. Going to the forest and all these things. This is not for Kali. Okay, very dangerous. First thing, physically, mentally, we don't have that strength. We're not able to remember Krishna when he sees a snake or a tiger.
Yes.
Idea is to not to forget Krishna. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. But you will forget Krishna that moment. So don't do all those things. Previously it was there for to develop strength in mind, to know the God is my protector. It helps. But anyway, in service of the Lord, we should not be having fear. That's in essence. The second point was devotions with the hearing and repeating the name on the glories of the Lord is strongly recommended. That is what is focus should develop. As possible, more and more, we should be able to fix ourselves in the hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord. Take Bhagavatam here, chant and relish. Piba the Bhagavata Rasamali. In the beginning, it will not come the taste. Once the taste develops, you can read Bhagavatam 24 hours. You will feel no time to sleep. So relishment it is. Okay, one who takes a vow of renunciation of family need not imitate Parivrajacharya, Narada, Lord Chaitanya. Prabhupada said, don't do that. Don't do that. There is no need to imitate them. Narada or Pradika. What you should do, sit down in some holy place and devote his whole time and energy to hear and repeatedly chant the holy scripture of a great Acharya. Now this anybody can do. Previously, so much the sannyasa was encouraged. Okay, na? In Kali Yuga, Prabhupada is saying what? Sit down in some holy place. Holy place means you can make your house ordinary holy and just drink the Bhagavatam day and night. In the beginning, taste will not come. But as you read, taste will enhance. Correct? It's just like when you chant. In the beginning, it's not Shuddha Nama. It is Nama Parada. Then it will go Nama Bhasa. Then Shuddha Nama. Then you can drink like nectar. You can constantly chant. So that is what is sannyasa recommended in Kali Yuga. Sit down and withdraw from social intercourse as far as practically possible. Prabhupada is saying completely withdraw from social intercourse. Just like I was just meditating on Parikshit Maharaj. When he was left the kingdom, 7 days were remaining for him. Now, did he ask his son Janmajaya, अरे जन्मजय उधर का क्या हुआ उसका वो बेटा शादी हो गया उसका वो पोते का क्या हाल है वो ठीक है ना नहीं he was absorbed. So we should stop the social intercourse and at least become more and more udasin and just take pleasure in hearing. Okay? Take the example. We can't even imagine Parishit Maharaj did not take a drop of water. See, that's what I'm saying. The force, the desire to serve Krishna is so intense that it's like very small thing for them. See, tapasya cannot be artificial. You know? His desire to hear about Krishna is so intense. And he truthfully speaking that. He says again and again in Bhagavatam hearing, I'm not feeling no hunger or thirst. I'm so much relishing hearing. And speaker is also doesn't want hunger. He's also relishing speaking. And Prabhupada both got liberated. By speaking, he got perfection, and he got speaking perfection by hearing. And both went back to both are actually Mahabhagavatas, one says. Both are exalted devotees of the Lord. But by participating in the process of hearing and chanting, both benefited so much. So one should stop the social intercourse completely and devote his time exclusively to the service of the Lord. That is symptom of spiritual advancement. Okay? Devote service of hearing and repeating the holy glories are strongly recommended. One to take the word in the session. I need not imitate Narada Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sit down in holy place. Acharyas like the 6 Guru Swamis of Vrindavan. Okay. Yes, Prabha Mataji, you want to say something? This doesn't look practical.
A bit difficult, Prabhuji, but yeah, we have to.
You come to Mangalore. You can do.
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji.
You have to come one day, Anna.
Yeah.
So you come soon. You come. Then you fully exclusively hear and chant about Krishna. Correct? In a session or two.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thus traveling, I felt tired both bodily and mentally, and I was both thirsty and hungry. But you come early. If you come late, then 2 people are needed to carry you. Isn't it, Mataji?
Yes.
You come after 70, then 2 people have to hold you while you walk.
Yeah.
Yeah. As well. Thus traveling, I felt tired. You are able to come for Janmashtami this time? You have no plan, no? This time?
No, Prabhuji.
Thus traveling, I felt tired both bodily and mentally, and I was both thirsty and hungry. So I took a bath in a river lake and also drank water. By contacting water, I got relief from my exhaustion. Somebody read.
A traveling mendicant can meet the needs of the body.
I didn't chant the shloka. Parishantendriya atmaham Parito bhuvokshitaha Snatva pitva hradenadya Pasprishto gata shavaha. Thus traveling, I felt tired both bodily and mentally, and I was both thirsty and hungry. I took a bath in a river lake and also drank water. By contacting water, I got relief from my exhaustion.
A traveling mendicant can meet the needs of the body, namely thirst and hunger, by the gifts of nature without being a beggar at the doors of the householders. The mendicant therefore does not go to the house of a householder to beg, but to enlighten him spiritually.
That is the standard mendicant. Generally at the house outside comes sadhu, means he's expecting bhiksha, correct? We think. But therefore Prabhupada said it's very difficult. In America also it's a trespasser is only shot dead. And there is no sin. There is no law, there is no office. Both the right, trespasser to be shot. You can't enter somebody's house. So Prabhupada said, then what to do? Now how do you preach? The Prabhupada said book distribution. Then that is it. I convert into book distribution. You go, that's the business. If I buy a book, so then why I should buy a book? Preaching starts. You know, Kali Yuga is transformed into book distribution. Correct? You go house to house, distribute Bhagavatam. They go every Sunday. You can join them sometime. One team goes every Sunday, house to house. They go to distribute Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. So, and they get success 100%. 10 houses, everybody takes one book at least. Anglo people have money, correct? They don't say Dodilla, though nobody is there. They say Gita, they take Krishna, Krishna, they take Bhagavatam. Something is you can take always. So that's where they are able to manage. If you go right approach, 90% people receive you well. Hai? That's what experience they have. Okay. Tasmin nirmanunje aranye Pipalopasta Ashritaha
Pipalopasta Ashrita
Atmanatmanam Atmastham
Atmanatmanam
Atmana
Atmastam
Yathastam Achin.
Astam
Yada
Yada
After
Sudam
that, after
Achinatam.
becoming a banyan tree in an uninhabited forest, I began to meditate upon the supposed soul situated within, using my intelligence, and I had learned from the liberated soul. After that, under the shadow of a banyan tree in an uninhabited forest, I began to meditate upon the super soul situated within, using my intelligence, as I had heard from the liberated souls, as he had been instructed. You want to read? Read loudly.
One should not meditate according to one's personal whims. One should know perfectly well from the authoritative sources of scriptures through the transparent medium of a bona fide spiritual master, and by proper use of one's trained intelligence for meditating upon the super soul dwelling within every living being. This consciousness is firmly developed by a devotee who has rendered loving service unto the Lord by carrying out the order of spiritual master. Sri Narada ji contacted bona fide spiritual masters, served them sincerely, and got enlightenment rightly. Thus he began to meditate.
Transcendental medium of bona fide spiritual master, contact through Guru. And he's a transcendental medium, transparent transcendental medium. Okay, he's not blocking, he's facilitating. He's facilitating contact. Narada contacted bona fide spiritual masters, served them sincerely, and got enlightenment right. Okay, so I explained that point. We have book. In the colleges, if we have only books and no teachers, nobody will study. We need teachers to explain what the book is saying. So when people read book, they may not understand. And in a session we are reading, meaning is becoming self-evident. Correct? Alone, not feel that much. It's always in a session, anything is sweeter. Kirtan, reading, everything is sweeter. So contact a bona fide spiritual master, served them sincerely, and got enlightened. The spiritual knowledge is not like a theoretical knowledge. The knowledge is gift from the guru to the disciple. It's a realized knowledge. Sincerely and got enlightened rightly. Thus he began to meditate. As soon as I began to meditate, Dhyatas charanambhojam
Yayatas Charanambojam
bhavanirjita chetasa
Bhavanirjita Chetasa
avkantyashu kalakshayakshasya
Avakantyasru Kalashaya
me shanai hari.
Iti Asun Me
Shukashaya.
As soon as I began to meditate upon the lotus feet of the personality, Godhead, with the mind transformed in transcendental love, tears rolled down my eyes, and without delay, the personality Godhead Shri Krishna appeared on the lotus of my heart.
The word bhava is significant. This bhava stage is attained after one has transcendental affection of the Lord. The first initial stage is called Shraddha, or a liking for the Supreme Lord. And in order to increase that liking, one has to associate with pure devotees to the Lord. The third stage is to practice the prescribed rules and regulations of devotional service. This will dissipate all sorts of misgiving and remove all personal deficiencies and hamper progress the devotional service. When all misgivings and personal deficiency are removed, there is a standard faith in transcendental matter and the taste for its increase in a greater proportion. This stage leads to attraction, and after there is bhava, or the prior stage of unalloyed love for God. All the above different stages are but different stages of development of transcendental love. Being so surcharged with transcendental love, there comes a strong feeling of separation which leads to 8 different kinds of ecstasies. Turns tears from the eyes of a devotee is an automatic reaction, and because Sri Narada Muni is his previous birth attained that stage very quickly after his departure from home, it was quite possible for him to perceive the actual presence of the Lord, which he tentatively experienced by his developed spiritual senses without material thing.
transcendental affection for the Lord. Okay, so Shraddha, very nicely it is explained in a very personal way. Prabhupada said the bhava that he is in, tears coming on his eyes and then the Lord appearing in his heart, it's all happened step by step. He has practiced spiritual life in association, so this is there. The first stage is therefore Shraddha, initial liking for the Lord. And then see that very personal expectation. And then you increase the liking as if with the pure devotees of the Lord. That's how you increase. Third stage is in prescribed rules and regulation practice. That will dissipate sorts of misgiving and remove all personal deficiencies. The fourth stage, because there is standard faith in the Nishtha, then the ruchi, the taste increases, attraction, asakti, and then bhava, prior to the love of God. And to get different, such a there comes strong feeling of separation, leads to a different kind of ecstasy. So one of the things is, tears start rolling down in his eyes. How do you say it? As soon as began to meditate upon the lotus feet of the personality Godhead, the mind transformed and transcended love. Tears rolled down my eyes, and without delay, the personality Godhead Shri Krishna appeared in the lotus of my eyes. The love of God is there, Krishna will come when you call it. Correct? But you need to have love of God with Narada. Any comment on this, Prabhu Mataji? You see the success story of Narada? The stages you can follow, anybody can follow. The stages. Initial liking for Krishna, then setting a devotee to like Krishna, then following rules and regulations, all misgivings are gone away, then a standard faith, then taste in offering devotional service to Krishna, then feeling transcendental affection for the Lord. Stages.
Shraddha, Shraddha,
Say away.
Vajan Kriya, Artha Nivriti,
Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, Prema. Shraddha, Sadhu, Sangha, Bhajan, Kriya. Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, Prema. Next stages. Premati-bhara nirbhinna.
Premati-bhara nirbhinna.
Ango ati nirvitaha.
Ananda
samplave hino.
Ananda sampalve hino.
Oh, Vyasa at that time being exceedingly overpowered by the feeling of happiness, every part of the body became separately illuminated. Being absorbed in the ocean of ecstasy, I could not see both myself and the Lord.
Offered by Srila Prabhupada, spiritual feelings of happiness and intense ecstasy have no mundane comparison. Therefore, it is very difficult to give expression to such feeling. We can just have a glimpse of such ecstasy in the world of the Narada Muni. Each and every part of the body or senses has its particular function. After seeing the Lord, all the senses become fully awakened to render service unto the Lord, because in the liberated state, the senses are fully efficient in serving the Lord. As such, in that transcendental ecstasy, it so happened that the senses became separately enlivened to serve the Lord. This being so, Narada Muni lost himself in seeing both himself and the Lord simultaneously.
So he was in transcendental ecstasy and confusion. That's what happens mostly when you see the Lord. You get stunned. And so much happiness. There is some kind of like Vidura. When Krishna came to his house, he became totally in ecstasy and confusion. What he was doing? He was throwing a banana and giving him the skin. So that's what Narada also, totally in ecstasy. He can't, small child, but not small. He is spiritually very advanced. Like all senses became fully awakened to render service unto the Lord. Because anyway, all the senses should serve the Lord. And everybody, hand, legs, eyes want to separately serve the Lord. Total confusion for it. Fully efficient is serving the Lord. Prabhupada is saying. Liberated sense, the senses are fully efficient in serving the Lord. It so happened the senses became separately enlivened to serve the Lord. This being so, Narada Muni lost himself in both himself and the Lord. Okay? Is it clear, everybody? Hello, next. Rupam Bhagavato Yatta.
Rupam Bhagavato
Let me
Yatam.
see, others are fine. Hey, Kamalesh. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Kamalesh.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Your voice is better now.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Again you read?
Hare Krishna?
No. Rupam Bhag. Okay, you are there with us. Hey, Venki, you are there around?
Hare Krishna, yes, Prabhuji.
You want to read this purport? Let me read the shloka translation, then you read the purport. Rupam Bhagavato Yathan
Rupam
Rupam Bhagavato Yat
Manakantam Suchopaham
Manakantan
Manakantam Chitto
Apashyan Sahasotaste
Apasyan Saga Saste
Durmana Iva.
Vaiklavya
Vaikalya Durmana Iva.
Transcendental form of the Lord as it is satisfies the mind's desire and at once erases all mental incorporation. Upon losing that form, I suddenly got of being perturbed, as it is usual when one loses that which is desirable.
Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. That the Lord is formless is experienced by Narada Muni.
Lord is not
But
formless.
That the Lord is not formless is experienced by Narada Muni. But his form is completely different from all forms of our material experience. For the whole duration of our life, we go see different forms in the material world. But none of them is just apt to satisfy the mind, nor can any one of them vanish all perturbance of the mind. These are the special features of the transcendental form of the Lord, and one who has once seen that form is not satisfied with anything else. No form in the material world can any longer satisfy the seer. That the Lord is formless or impersonal means that he has nothing like a material form and is not like any material personality. As spiritual beings having eternal relations with that transcendental form of the Lord, we are life after life searching after that form of the Lord, and we are not satisfied by any other form of material appeasement. Narada Muni got a glimpse of this, but having not seen it again, he became perturbed and stood up all of a sudden to search it out. What we desire life after life was obtained by Narada Muni, and losing sight of him again was certainly a great shock for him.
What we desire life after life. This is so beautiful. Life after life again. Us as spiritual beings, having eternal relation with that transcendental form of the Lord, we are life after life searching after that form of the Lord. We are not satisfied by any other form of the material appeasement. Narada Muni got a glimpse of this, having not seen it again, he became burdened, stood up all of a sudden to search it out. What we desire life after life after life after life after life was obtained by Narada Muni. Prabhupada is saying in this word, okay? Krishna is a spiritual form, just like hearing. Now we hear so many mundane literatures, you're never satisfied. You read Bhagavatam, you become satisfied, correct? All the senses actually contact with Krishna only are satisfied. So similarly, see, what we see forms. When people go to movies, cinema, serials, TV, magazine, newspaper to see forms only, but never get satisfied. But when you see Krishna form, you are totally satisfied. Actually, you are life after life after life searching for Krishna. We took that example. We're sitting in the bus also, we want window seat. Why? Actually, we are searching for Krishna. But then we're not satisfied. Okay? So we are all serving for Krishna. We want Krishna back in our life. Okay? Isn't it true? Okay? So this is what it's saying. Life after life, we are searching for Krishna. And Narada saw it. Then what is his condition? He became mad in ecstasy. Okay, so satisfied. Got a glimpse of this. But then his senses became totally in confusion. He's become totally in ecstasy, and the form disappeared. Narada became very sad now. Okay? These purports are all very nicely. Secondly, Prabhupada written this purport very nicely. Okay? Upon losing the form, I suddenly got a being purport. As is usual, one loses that which is desirable. Okay? So first thing, Lord is not formless, because he showed a beautiful form to Narada. Many people have God has no form. What? Narada saw form. Didn't see light. You see a beautiful form of the Lord. Number one. Okay? Prabhupada says in the whole duration of life, we are seeing so many forms in the world, but we are never satisfied. The mind is never satisfied. Okay? So devotees are not satisfied with anything else. Okay? Just like Yashoda mother, she wants the form of Krishna. Nothing else will satisfy. That gives total satisfaction. The Lord is formless. It means he doesn't have material form. Okay? He has beautiful Shama Sundara form. Many people's conception of God is God doesn't have form. Narada saw form of the Lord. Lord is beautiful. Like Om Purnamada Purnamidam, where Prabhupada says in the explanation Ishopanishad, Purna means he has form also. You cannot be more Purna than him. He is Purna. He has everything, you have something. He can't say I have everything, he is something. Then he is not Purna, you are Purna. God is Purna. He has form also. He has personality. He has pastimes. He has qualities. So life after life, searching for the form of the Lord, we are not satisfied with any form of material appeasement. Correct? We are never satisfied. But moment, Narada got a glimpse of that form. Wow, so beautiful. And then after that, okay, what we desire life after life was obtained by Narada Muni. Okay, and then what happened? When he saw that and he lost it, it was a shock for him. Okay, it's very sweetly written purports. Get time, just read this area. Very beautiful. Didakshu tad aham bhoyaha. Hey, something you want to say? Sorry. Prabha Mataji, you want to read now the next purport?
No problem, Prabhuji. Okay.
Didakshu tad aham bhoyaha. Nidhaya manohidi.
Panditaya Manohiti.
Kshamano api na pashyam.
Vikshamano bhinavashyam
Tripta ivaturaha.
avitripta iva tura.
I desire to see again the transcendental form of the Lord, despite my attempts to concentrate upon the heart. With eagerness to view the form again, I could not see him anymore, and thus dissatisfied, I was very much aggrieved. Yes, Mataji.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada. There is no mechanical process to see the form of the Lord. It completely depends on the causeless mercy of the Lord. We cannot demand the Lord to be present before our vision, just as we cannot demand the sun to rise whenever we like. The sun rises out of his own accord, so also the Lord is pleased to be present out of his causeless mercy. One should simply await the opportune moment and go on discharging his prescribed duty in devotional service of the Lord. Narada Muni thought that the Lord could be seen again by the same mechanical process which was successful in the first attempt, but in spite of his utmost endeavor, he could not make the second attempt successful. The Lord is completely independent of all obligations. He can simply be bound up by the tie of unalloyed devotion. Nor is he visible or perceivable by our material senses. When he pleases, being satisfied with the sincere attempt of devotional service, depending completely on the mercy of the Lord, then he may be seen out of his own accord.
So nice, beautiful purport. No mechanical process. So that again, sit down. Again, I'll meditate. That did not come. It's not a process. Similarly, sometimes we chant Hare Krishna, it's very sweet. Sometimes we chant, no taste coming, no interest to chant. Correct? It happens. One day, another.
Yes,
you cannot think, okay, now I'll sit in the same way and Hare Krishna taste will come. No. Therefore, I tell even in Kirtan, don't have to think about melodies. Focus on the holy name. The holy name will spring the taste. Correct? But changing tunes, the taste may not sprout up. Correct? Taste comes by attentive hearing, chanting. So definitely Krishna is not whimsical. Krishna is very merciful. He's very kind, but he's an independent personality. So He disappeared, and Narada is now lost him. Okay, he's again trying to see and again trying meditation. Krishna did not come. Okay, now the reason will come. He'll tell him the reason. Yes, Venki is fine. Any question on it, Kamalesh?
Hare
Hare Krishna, Kamalesh.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. No doubts, Prabhuji.
It's very nice.
Very nice, Prabhuji.
These purports are amazing. Okay, you try. You read the next purport. Let us give you one more chance. You are in a remote place. I hope the signal will improve by now. Seeing my attempts in that lonely place. Okay, sorry. Evam yatantam vijane.
Evam yatantam vejane
Go charo girim giram.
Mahagiracharo
Gambhira
giram
shlakanas lakshnaya vacha.
Gambhira slakarasya vacha Sucha prasamyana iva.
My attempts in that lonely place, the personality Godhead would transcend into all mundane descriptions, spoke to me with gravity just to mitigate my grief. Yes, Kamlesh, try.
Yes, Prabhuji. That's what given by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Is my voice clear now, Prabhuji?
Huh? No. Okay, try. Still you try.
In the Vedas, it is said that God is beyond the approach of mundane words and intelligence. And yet, by His causeless mercy, one can have suitable senses to hear Him or to speak to Him. This is the Lord's inconceivable energy. One upon whom His mercy is bestowed can hear Him. The Lord was much pleased with Narada Muni, and therefore the necessary strength was invested in him so that he could hear the Lord. It is not, however, possible for others to perceive directly the touch of the Lord during the probationary stage of regulative devotional service. It was a special gift for Narada. When he heard the pleasing words of the Lord, the feeling of separation were to some extent mitigated. A devotee in love with God feels always the pangs of separation and is therefore always enwrapped in transcendental ecstasy.
So therefore, for us is the story. Prabhupada says that's what devotee feels. Always feels pangs of separation from the Lord and always enwrapped in transcendental ecstasy. That's the devotee's heart. Anyway, so Prabhupada said generally probationary stage. Probationary means beginning stage, no? Probationary. Use probation. And that's the training period.
Probation period, Prabhuji.
Not permanent. Probationary job, temporary job.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
आपका भी कमलेश probationary job to some people. So anyway, the point is that generally in the sadhana stage, it is not possible to contact the Lord. Narada, because of his situation, Krishna gave him special mercy. Alone, one boy took a determination to see him. Krishna was specially merciful to him. And he gave him mercy. He can give darshan. But generally, it doesn't happen. None of us practicing got darshan when he started. Anybody got? No. Special. But we do get some special mercy in the beginning. Because that gives an incentive to go ahead. And then you have to work for it. Krishna gives some lollipop in the beginning. And then you work hard and then he says little. Anna? Little we get in the beginning stage. A special ecstasy in service to the Krishna. And that is actually sometimes more than what we deserve. But then Krishna makes us work to reach the situation and go ahead. So Narada was very fortunate to get very advanced spiritual darshan. Directly saw the Lord face to face and the Lord disappeared. Okay, and now he has come to speak to Narada. Special gift for Narada. Okay. And gravity and pleasing word just to mitigate my grief. The Prabhupada is another point is saying it's not easy to hear the Lord. To see the Lord, Lord's form is not material, it is spiritual form. To see the form of the Lord also, you need special eyes. Just like your 3D cinema, they give you some special specs. Even in Bhagavad Gita, to see Vishrupa also Krishna gave Arjuna special eyes. Others could not see, standing in the battle, they don't know what's happening. Krishna was showing Vishrupa. You need special vision. The same way, to see the form of the Lord, you need special eyes. To hear Him, you need special ears. These ears, that vibration is different. It's a spiritual vibration. You cannot hear it. Correct? The material ears may not be able to catch. Therefore, Krishna gave him special ability to hear him. That's the Prabhupada saying. Necessary strength was invested in him so that he could hear the Lord. Even seeing is not possible. Krishna is so effulgent, eyes will burn. So Krishna gives you the power to see him. You can't see him otherwise. Just like something is very bright, you need special glasses to see that. Otherwise, eyes will go. Correct? I think the mining people, they do the soldering and all. They put some welding people. They put something glass. Otherwise, you can't see. Your eyes will go. Similar, to see the Lord is difficult. To hear the Lord also is difficult. Proper special strength was given. Just to mitigate my grief. Hantasmin janani bhava
Antasmin jana
Jamani
mam drashtum iharhati
mam drastum
mam drashtum
iharhati
mam drashtum iharhati
mam drastum
mam
iharhati
avipakya kashayanam
avipakva
kasa
kashayanam
dudasho aham kuyoginam.
dudashoham yoginam.
Oh Narada, the Lord spoke, I regret during this lifetime you will not be able to see me anymore. Antasu jananim bhavan. Namam dashtam iharati. This life you cannot see him. Janmani bhavan, yourself, mam dashtam iharati. Ha, here, arati. You don't deserve to see me in this life. Those who are incomplete in service and who are not completely free from material taints can hardly see. Avipakwa. Those who are incomplete in service. Avipakwa means kacha. Kashaya naam. Material dirt is there. Okay? And then Dudasha Kuyogi naam. Not yogi. What are you? So why you are not seeing the Lord? You are Kuyogi, you are Avipakwa, and Kashaya naam. All the three problems are there. Material dirt is there. We are not sincere yogi, we are Kuyogi, and Avipakwa. We are not right. Yes. Who wants to read now? You want to read, Mataji? Prabhupada.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Loudly.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The personality of Godhead is described in the Bhagavad Gita as the most pure, the supreme, and the absolute truth. There is no trace of a tinge of materiality in his person, and thus one who has the slightest tinge of material affection cannot approach him. The beginning of devotional service starts from the point when one is freed from at least two forms of material modes, namely the mode of passion and the mode of ignorance. The result of exhibited by the signs of being freed from karma, lust, and lobha, covetousness.
Yeah.
That is to say, one must be freed from the desires for sense satisfaction and awareness for sense gratification. The balanced mode of nature is goodness, and to be completely freed from all material tinges is to become free from the mode of goodness also. To search the audience of God in a lonely forest is considered to be in the mode of goodness. One can go out into the forest to attain spiritual perfection, but that does not mean that one can see the Lord personally there. One must be completely freed from all material attachment and be situated on the plane of transcendence, which alone will help the devotees get in personal touch with the personality of Godhead. The best method is that one should live at the place where the transcendental form of the Lord is worshipped. The temple of the Lord is a transcendental place, whereas the forest is a materially good habitation. A neophyte devotee is always recommended to worship the deity of the Lord, Archana, rather than go into the forest to search out of the Lord. Devotional service begins from the process of Archana, which is better than going out of the forest. In his present life, which is completely freed from all material hankering, Sri Narada Muni does not go into the forest, although he can turn every place into Vaikuntha by his presence only. He travels from one planet to another to convert men, gods, Kinnaras, Gandharvas, Rishis, Munis, and all others to become devotees of the Lord. By his activities, he has engaged many devotees like Prahlada Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaja, and many other in the transcendental service of the Lord. A pure devotee of the Lord, therefore, follows in the footsteps of great devotees like Narada and Prahlada and engages his whole time in glorifying the Lord by the process of Kirtana. Such a preaching process is transcendental to all material qualities.
So let us see the purport now. It's a very nice. Okay. I regret why you cannot see me, because you are not ripe. Your devotion is kuyogi. You are not ripe in devotion service. Okay. So you continue your sadhana. When you become be qualified. First deserve, then desire. First be qualified, Narada, then you can see me. I gave you some encouragement, some lollipop. Now you work hard. That's what it says. Okay. So is described in the Bhagavad Gita most pure. There is no trace or tinge of mentality in his person, and thus one who has the slightest material affection cannot approach him. So unless we are pure, we cannot go to Krishna. Krishna is totally pure. We are discussing this point that Krishna Lila we will disturb. Devatas also disturb Krishna Lila. Why not? Danavas they attacked. So we cannot see the Lord now. We will disturb. We will dispose a disturbance for him. Danavas they attack. Agasura, Bakasura. And the Devatas like Indra, Brahma, they also disturb the Leela. Indra, what can be bigger than Indra? Indra was throwing water unnecessarily and fought with Krishna when he took the Parijata flower. And Brahma stole the coward was. It's all disturbance. So we are not in a position to be. We think, I want to see God. You're not in position. You will disturb the Lord now. Correct now? Lord is not just static. He's doing wonderful pastimes. And we will disturb there. So we have to become qualified. A beginning of devotion service, correct? Prabha Mataji, is it clear or not? Isn't it? Presently,
Yes,
we think, why I'm not seeing the Lord, but we will cause a disturbance for him now. Isn't it? Anna? So we have to purify, we get qualified. Then we can sweeten the Lord's pastime. We can participate in the Lord's pastime. Even in material world, whoever is there in the material world is a disturbance. And it is proved in Krishna's Leela. All the Danavas, even Devata, try to disturb Krishna Leela. Isn't it? They cannot disturb, but try to disturb. The beginning of devotion service starts from the point one is free from at least two form material mode, that is mode of passion and ignorance. That is the beginning. Okay? Rajas and tamas. Tamas means madness, Rajas means disturb. Devotee is always peaceful. Okay? This is a qualification. Result is exhibiting sign of being freed from kama and lobha. Chete anavidam sitam satve prasidati. Evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogataha. This all explained. Kama lobha daya che. Correct? That stages of Shanvatam Sakata Krishna Punya Shavana Kirtana Redanto Se Vadanani Vidujanhoti Surasata Nashta Prayasha Bhadresha Nityam Bhagavati Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishriki. Okay? Evan Prasanna Manaso Bhagavad Bhakti Yogata. So that the stage is when Kamaloba Dayache Chete Ete Anavidam Sitam Praste Prasidati. Okay? Kamaloba, when it goes out of the heart by practicing a devotion service, then that's the beginning. That is to say, one is free from the desire of sense gratification, avarice of sense. This first thing part is clear. See, when you practice spiritual life, the result should be there. The result is Rajoguna, Tamoguna should go away. Tamoguna means madness. Rajoguna means mind is disturbed. These should go away. We should get peace. That will come if we apply ourselves to the process. We start chanting, we start reading, your mind will become very peaceful. Then it comes Nishtha. Yeah, the process is working. The first stage when you're beginning with devotion service, you don't see some nectar of Krishna consciousness. You don't see like Narada Darshan. But definitely what you see is mind is becoming Shanti, peace. We attain Shanti. Correct or not? Spiritual process should give us Shanti. What some friendship day everybody is sending everything. Avarice also sense gratification, avarice or sense gratification. Both are bad. Why? Attraction, repulsion. There's sense gratification karmi and jnani means angur khatte. That example we take many times. Suppose 100 rupees is lying. One person says, grab and enjoy. He is also wrong. One person says, this money, I should not touch it. That is also wrong. We took another example. Every time we take bank, somebody says outside bank, I will enjoy this bank. He's a thief, put him in the jail. Somebody says, I renounce this bank. He's a madman, put him in Nimas. Renounce, it was never his. Correct? You stand outside State Bank of India, I renounce the State Bank of India. You say, put him in Nimas. He's a madman. It was never his. You say, I will enjoy this bank, put him in the jail. This government money, taken public money. The same way, both are wrong. Sense gratification and avarice for sense gratification, both are wrong. Balance mode is mode of goodness. Okay? Attraction, repulsion, both are disturbance. Okay? And it's completely free from mental changes, become free from the mode of goodness also. Finally, we have to rise beyond goodness, go to transcendental state. We understood that? Just like we chant Hare Krishna. Tamoguna chanting means sleeping. Rajoguna chanting means we're chanting but we are disturbed. Satoguna chanting, how do you know which Satoguna mode you are? Hare Krishna, Krishna. There's no Kama and Lobha is there at that moment. We can test ourselves. But then still effort is there in Satoguna. When it comes to Krishna consciousness, chanting you cannot stop. Mishri, nectar. Just like reading Bhagavatam. Tamasic reading is reading and Rasic reading is reading and thinking about cinema halls, the cricket match, what happened, who lost, who won. Very interesting. That is Rasic reading. Sattvic reading is fresh. He is reading Bhagavatam. But Krishna conscious reading, he cannot stop now. Day, night, he wants to read. That is transcendental. So we can come different stages. The balance is mode of goodness. Serve the audience of God in the lonely place is considered to be in a mode of goodness. This is a one post. One can go out of the forest, but does not mean one can see the Lord personally there. As if for jungle jaoge to Bhagwan dikh jayenge. No. Goodness may not lead you to spiritual platform. Spiritual platform is higher. Completely free from material attachment, suggested plane of trance which alone can help the devotee get personal to the personality. These purports are very nice, just going word over word. Prabhupada says, therefore, must live in a place of transit form of the Lord is worshipped better than going to the forest. Now, we are not going to forest. We are sitting in a temple, hearing the arti going to the Lord. Correct? So that is best. The temple of the Lord is the transcendental place, whereas the forest is the materially good habitation. Okay? This also makes sense. Temple is the transcendental place, whereas the forest is a materially good habitation. A neophyte devotee is always recommended to worship the deity in the Lord rather than go to the forest to search out the Lord. Okay? So recommended to worship the deity. Then rather than go to the forest to search out the Lord. Devotion always begins the personal archana, which is better than going out in the forest. Okay? And nowadays Narada doesn't go to the forest, even though he can turn forest into Vaikuntha by his presence. Okay? He travels from planet to planet, meets all Kinnaras, Gandharvas, Rishi, Muni, all, and make them devote to the Lord. He is an international preacher, traveling around the world. And he has engaged many devotees like Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, many other trance service. Okay, footsteps of Narada. A whole time should engage in glorifying the Lord. The preaching process transcends to all material qualities. Okay, makes sense. Everything is very nice. Yes. Sakritya darshitam rupam etat kame cha anagaha at kama shanakai sadhu sarvan monchati hrishayan. Oh, virtuous one, you have only once seen my person, and this is just to increase your desire for me, because the more you hanker for me, the more you will be freed from all material desires. Oh, virtuous one, you have only once seen my person, and this is just to increase your desire for me. Because the more you hanker for me, the more you will be freed from the material desires. Yes.
A living being cannot be vacant of desires. He is not a dead stone. He must be working, thinking, feeling, and willing. But when he thinks, feels, and wills materially, he becomes entangled. And conversely, when he thinks, feels, and wills for the service of the Lord, he becomes gradually free from all entanglement. The more a person is engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, the more he acquires a hankering for it. That is the transcendental nature of godly service. Material service has satiation, whereas spiritual service of the Lord has never satiation. And one can go on increasing his anchoring for the loving transcendental service of the Lord, and yet he will not find satiation or anger. By intense service of the Lord, one can experience the presence of Lord transcendentally. Therefore, seeing the Lord means being engaged in His service because His service and His person are identical. The sincere devotee should go on with sincere service of the Lord. The Lord will give proper direction as to how and when, where it has to be done. There was no material desire in Narada, and just to increase his intense desire of the Lord, he was so advised.
By intense service. So this is like a vicious cycle. It's like दारू शुरू करते पागल हो जाता है. You drink the whole day. Similarly, Krishna consciousness also, don't feel scared. You become more. There is no limit, and it can go keep expanding unlimited. Okay? And yet will not find satiation or end. No satiation or end. Correct? Anything will become satiated now. By intense service of the Lord, one experiences the presence of the Lord transcendently. Okay? Transcendently presence of the Lord. Again, he was so advised so that increases desire to see the Lord. There was no material desire in our. So keep increasing our desire to serve Krishna in association. Why you have once only seen my person, Krishna, just to increase the desire, because the more you hanker from me, more you will feed from the material. Anyway, we I think 25 minutes. Okay? Because that part we get over Lord instructing now. Matermai nivadheyam.
Something
Third.
Third.
27.
Sat sevaya dirgha.
Satsevaya dirghaya
Sevaya dirghayapi.
dirghaya adirghayapi
Vayam imam lokam.
Vidyam imam lokam
Janatamasi.
Yantamachanatam
I serve in the master because even for a few days the devotee attains so much fixed intelligence in me. Consequently, it goes on to become abstract in the transcendental world after giving of the present deplorable material world.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Serving the absolute trust means rendering service unto the absolute personality of Godhead under the direction of the bona fide spiritual master, who is the transparent via medium between the Lord and the neopathic devotee. The neopathic devotee has no ability to approach the absolute personality of Godhead by the strength of his parent imperfect material senses, and therefore, under the direction of the spiritual master, he is trained in transcendental service of the Lord. And by such training, even for more days, the neopathic devotee gets intelligence in such a transcendental service, which leads him ultimately to get free from perpetual inhabitation in the material worlds and to be promoted to the transcendental world to the become one of the liberated associates of the Lord in the kingdom of God.
Okay, nice. The main point is absolute rendering service to personality Godhead under the direction of the bona fide. We have to take another direction of Guru, we are performing service, not whimsical. It is said, if you Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatri ki Vidambana Ekanti ki Hare Bhakti Utpadati Kalpate, you do service to the Lord without any guidance, it can create disturbance. You understand nothing? Sometimes some people come straight away enter the altar, that doesn't it. He is in his own way thinking he is not doing anything wrong, but he is disturbed. This is not the way to do. We should not touch the deed. Give Suchi condition. Sometimes it happens. And they send children, run. You see sometimes a child will come running and he will enter the altar. Parents are enjoying. They are not causing service, they are disturbing. Okay, so it has to be done properly, under guidance. Therefore, on the direction of spiritual master is trained in transcendental service of the Lord. Prabhupada says the main essence of this shloka was even for a few days when the service is done, we get firm faith. A little patience is needed. Actually, a few days we sit and chant, we hear Bhagavatam, we read, we can see a tangible change in us. Correct? Then we cannot stop. Therefore, in colleges when you go, we say 4-session course. They come just 4 sessions to get some certificate, something, but they get done. Once you get, for a few days. What do you say? People are not patient because see the Shraddha you can't be able to see. Sadhu Sangha, Bhajan Kriya, Anartha Nivritti. Anartha Nivritti is the 4th stage. It requires some patience. You had an initial liking for God. You came to the Sadhu Sangha. They said you chant Hare Krishna. Then Anartha Nivritti, to have some tangible change, you have to practice for some time. And once you practice some time, you see a changing now. The biggest thing is we are not able to change. But the process of Krishna consciousness is very powerful. And not changing to something else, it revives our original devotion to the Lord. Just like we are discussing, body has some abilities. You can revive walking. Mind has some abilities. Ashta Siddhis mind has. If you want it, you can revive. You can know what's happening in your house. Door is locked or not, you have it. Siddhi hai. Mind ki siddhi. Yeah? Sages used to have this siddhi. Like Narada has siddhis, he can travel anywhere. And then after that, the mind also is lying dormant. The soul is also lying dormant. The soul is a great servant of the Lord. Revive that. So, but Acharya is more focused on reviving the soul in Kali Yuga, the mind and body. Therefore, under the direction of spiritual master is trained in the transcendental service of the Lord. Okay, guidance we practice, and even for a few days. And by such training, even for some days, a neophyte devotee get intelligence of transcendental service. This leads him ultimately to get free from the perpetual habitation metal world, and he promoted to the transcendental world. Even for a few days. So even for a few days, how do you become a drunkard? क्या बोलते हैं? उसको ये नहीं बोलता तू पूरा बॉटल पी ले। देखो वो कुछ नहीं बोल रहा, तू 2 मिलीमीटर पी ले, बस टेस्ट कर ले। कॉलेज में सुनता हूँ स्टूडेंट से कैसे एक दूसरे को दारू पिलाते हैं। एक चम्मच पी ले, कुछ नहीं होगा, एक चम्मच। And he takes and he becomes the drunkard. Similarly, we tell people, थोड़ा एक बार जब करो, ज़्यादा नहीं, शुरू करो एक बार। तो devotee नहीं बनेगा, थोड़ा देर को peace मिलेगा। And then slowly what happens becomes a drunkard. The Prabhupada says, even without knowledge, we can send people back to Godhead. Means he never took consciously decision to go back to Godhead, but we're trapped in. Just like in a hostel in the first year, only 1 person out of 400 will be a drunkard. End of the 4 years, all 400 are drinking. You see, that's the reality today. The same way, when they can work in this way, why we cannot work? I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm not telling you to become devotee. You just chant 1 round, that's all. Nothing will happen to you. And they said, okay, I'll try 1 round. You get some peace of mind. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Then he gets trapped. Recently, the Preeti had come. She goes for book distribution. He said, we tell people, we give the books in hand in America because totally across the culture. He said, just read the one, random. I take any one paragraph. You read this one. This paragraph. I want this book. That the reading experience gives him pleasure. Immediately they take. Correct? We tell people chant, he's a devotee. Why we are telling him to chant? He's a devotee. And he chants, he feels natural. He is very nice. I want to chant. So similarly, give books. Just read one paragraph. I want this book. Immediately he feels he likes to have. Or we can select a particular purport which is very easy for them to understand in the beginning. Just read it. Batirmai nibadheyam na vipadyeta karheche praja sarga nirodhe api
Prajasarga nirodayati
Kamad anugraha.
Satim cha
Intelligence engaging
anugraha.
my devotion cannot be thwarted at any moment, even at the time of creation as well as at the time of annihilation. Your remembrance will continue by my mercy. Yeah, somebody wants to read.
Devotional service rendered to the personality of Godhead never goes in vain. Since the personality of Godhead is eternal, intelligence applied in His service or anything done in His relation is also permanent. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that such transcendental service rendered unto the personality of Godhead accumulates birth after birth, and when the devotee is fully matured, the total service can counted together makes him eligible to enter into the association of the personality of Godhead. Such accumulation of God's service is never vanquished, but increases till fully mature.
Prabhupada is encouraging us, but it's not just flattering, it's telling the truth. Prabhupada used to say a small child comes to temple, he pays obviously, sometimes children are out of practice. Prabhupada said, don't think it's going to waste. Credit in his account, credit is coming. Credit. Prabhupada says very nicely, now with the bhakti that you're doing, everything you're doing now with the bhakti, seeing the deity, chanting his Guru, doing arti, is one step towards back to God. Now you're hearing Bhagavatam, one step towards back to God, one step more towards back to God. So you reach God at night. Or another way, Prabhupada said, bank account, credit. May enough money you can purchase Krishna. Very nicely. So small child says, not doing waste. Now small children come, what they do. But father is being the imitation. If the father goes down, they go down. Children are restless. So within 1 second he gets up. As his father is still going on, again goes. Again after 2 seconds he'll get up. Father is still offering some prayer. Again goes. But the going down is not going waste. It's counted, credit. Even though it's not done in the love or devotion, even with the imitation is good. Because in the imitation anything good is also good. That also in one sense helps. Adds to his devotion. Credit, and one day there's such accumulation of God's service never vanish or increases to fully mature. Imagine how fortunate it is to get something so permanent. Because everything else people are running after is temporary. Even you go to Devata, you become the richest man in the world, it's temporary. You become prime minister, next life become a dog, it's waste. What's the use? Or somebody becomes prime minister, next life becomes a dog. So temporary. The soul is eternal. For the soul, which is a trillions and trillions and trillions of life, this is small. 2 minutes. But we are lost in the 2 minutes to be a hero. Okay? Because they send you to some house and say, I want to be a hero for 2 minutes. I don't know. So we are not looking for permanent benefit because you are foolish. Etavat ukto paravamattan maha. Namo lingam alingam ishwaram. Aham jatasmai mahata mahiyase. Krishnavanamam vidade anukampitaha. Then that supreme authority personified by sound and unseen by the eyes and most wonderful. Stop speaking, feeling a sense of gratitude. I offered a obeisance unto him, bowing my head.
Offered by Srila Prabhupada, that the personality of Godhead was not seen but only heard does not make any difference. The personality of Godhead produced the 4 Vedas by his breathing, and he is seen and realized through the transcendental sound of the Vedas. Similarly, the Bhagavad Gita is the sound representation of the Lord, and there is no difference in identity. The conclusion is that the Lord can be seen and heard by persistent chanting of the transcendental sound.
Because we bore down. We can do one more, this beautiful one. Namani anantasya hadatrapaha patan. Let us do it next time. I just want to read the translation to trailer for next time. We'll do next time. I just read 1 or 2 translations. That's a trailer for next class. Thus I began chanting the holy name, fame of the Lord by repeated recitation, ignoring all the formalities of the metal world, and chanting and such chanting and remembering of the transcendental pastimes of the Lord are benedictory. So doing, I traveled all over the world, fully satisfied, humble, and unenvious. Oh, and also a Brahman of Vyasa, in the due course of time, I was fully absorbed in thinking of Krishna and to remember, and therefore had no attachment. Being completely free from all mental taints, met with death. As lightning and illumination occurs simultaneously. Having been awarded a transcendental body, befitting and a state of the personality Godhead, I quit the body made of the five metal element, and thus all the acquired fruitive results of work stopped. At the end of the millennium, when the personality Godhead, Lord Narayana, laid on within the water of devastation, Brahma began to enter it along with all the creative elements, and I also entered through his breathing. After 4 billion, 300 billion solar years, and Brahma awoke to create again by the will of the Lord. All the rishis like Marichi, Angri, Atri, or so were created from the transcendental body of the Lord, and I also appeared along with them. Since then, by the grace of the Almighty Vishnu, I travel everywhere without restriction, both in the transcendental world and in the three divisions of the metal world. It is because I am fixed in the unbroken devotion service of the Lord. And thus I travel constantly singing the transcendental message of the glories of the Lord, vibrating this instrument called Veena, which is charged with transcendental sound and which is given to me by Lord Krishna. Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, whose glories and activities are pleasing to hear, at once appears on the seat of my heart as if called for, as soon as I begin to chant his holy activities. This call for the Lord is so intense, the Lord appears in his heart immediately. And he can perceive his presence. Now he further instructs him, Narada, you focus on this, glorifying the Lord, and chapter ends. Okay? So we meet next time. I think 1 o'clock we keep red line, we finish at 1.
सुबह 5 से 7:30 2 घंटा चैटिंग ऐसे ही बैठ के करती हूँ आने तो मेरे पैर थक जाते
Okay, Raj, ठीक है. Okay. Hare Krishna Kamalesh, thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Venki. Hare Krishna Prabhu Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you.
Okay, now we stop or you want to continue?
It's okay for us.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, dance for 72 hours, but then other people are human beings. So people are feeling like this pain. Okay. Hare Krishna Kamalesh. Hare Krishna Kamalesh. You are muted, Kamalesh.
Kamalesh signal is not good today.
He is in some remote place. Okay. Everybody.
Prabhuji, signal is very bad here, Prabhuji.
Okay, everybody is saying that. Okay. Hare Krishna Kamalesh. Okay. Janmashtami are coming 2nd September. Try to come. Prabhu Mataji is not coming. Venki, you can come for Janmashtami.
Sure, Prabhuji.
Book your ticket.
Sure, Prabhuji.
It's very easy. Sunday, so holiday. It doesn't disturb at all. Correct? Ticket, try.
Yes.
One day holiday.
Yes, please, Prabhuji.
Ticket holiday for Monday, it's easy for you. Ticket. Okay. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.